Drop that bitch on her head like bang.
Welcome. Fire it up Fridays. Got a bunch of people in the chat. Starting with Tommy, metaphysician. Don't judge me, Jennifer. Thanks for seeing you. Good to be here. R Pole, Bad Barney as usual. One and only mod. Yellow Cake Maker's been in the house. Who else we got? Bex. Bex is here. And that's good enough. Let's go ahead and get this cam turned on. What's going on? It's another good week. I successfully lived a week with my new iPhone. I like it now, I guess. I didn't like it at first. Android guy switching over, but just straight up. What's up, Cynthia? She's here. So a lot of talk this week on the central banking system. Seems like everybody on the panels that I'm on, they're kind of up with it. They understand. This is going to be normally for people who really it doesn't make sense to them, or maybe they just haven't done the research yet. So I got a really cool little video. It's about 30 minutes actually. I want to try to play most of it. It's a cartoon, but it's pretty well put together. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link up here. If anybody wants to come up and talk about it, we can stop and throughout the video and whatnot, and see exactly what it is, what it's all about. So let's see here. What am I doing? There we go. Yeah. So a pretty cool picture there. A little pharmacy. I like how it just spelt pharmacy. Got all that vegetables and everything that's good shit. So, but yeah, so let me welcome Tom. What's going on, Tom?
I left my little heading on for your show too.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I found this video on the share drive someone shared with me a while ago, and it's just so much content on it, and just like going through it, it's kind of funny how a lot of the topics that are getting discussed, I end up crossing a video or a PDF or some files that are about it. Yeah, it's not that it's an algorithm; it's just that it's a shared file. So there's just so much content, so many subfolders and sections, and it's funny. Like we'll just be talking about something. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I saw something about that yesterday, and let me pull this up.
Well,
so,
were you at my first ever live stream?
Yeah, bro. I watched the whole thing. You did a good job, man. I'm pretty. Not that you need a pat on the back, but I'm proud of you. So
I know we're heading into October, but that whole rant I went on about Paul versus Damien, the son of a woman and a jackal. Yeah, Xbox is totally throwing me, hey, you might want to watch Omen. Like, no, I was talking about Omen. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I think your mic's clicking a little bit. What'd you do with your mic?
I broke this phone. Hold on.
Did you stream from your phone, didn't you?
Yeah, it's maybe after your show if you want. I need to fire one up and see if my laptop streams all right, because when I'm a guest with it, it would be like an 8-second delay between when you're done talking and when I talk.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm still fucking around OBS. It's so much better, but like getting actual quickly adding people to like video on screen is it's a little time sensitive. So I could share screen the StreamYard, but I'm assuming there's going to be a delay.
See, I was the delay because I think the delay was either because of the laptop being slow or it's because I was a guest, and that's why I need to experiment. I need to experiment like two drunk college guys in a closet.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this video started.
30 minutes, bro. That's like a homework assignment.
Well, it is, but we'll stop and talk about it in parts. It's not like I'm just going to play 30 minutes straight and not, help narrate. You know what I mean? Especially you. I know you're knowledgeable on this stuff too as well. I'm nowhere near an expert, but I do have the knowing of. So, but let me start it off and we'll see how it goes.
They spelled pharmacy like they say food library.
Yeah, I know, that's pretty cool. About to take your shit.
There's a reason they call it a dream. Who's there? Cock-a-doodle-doo, pal. No, 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 no! I don't have any more money! My job sucks right now, please! I'll have more money next month! You can't take my house!
Is that your signature?
Oh, okay, well, just help me work something out, okay? I mean, you said I'm a good credit guy, right? I mean, hey, wait! My dog is in there! No, don't take my dream! Oh, how did this happen? Hardman? Is that you? It's been a long time since the 4th grade. Is that a time machine? There's no need to concern yourself with my...
It's a little slow. It'll pick up here in a minute.
I gotta go down to the bank and get my life back. They took everything.
Actually, I like for Jack to watch this. It kind of give him a better discernment on these greedy corporations.
You're gonna get my dream back?
He's pretty hell bent on that, but the banks are really what are making shit fucked.
Well, the Federal Reserve is what's making banks make things fucked.
Exactly.
What is a bank, you ask? A curious place where both space, time, and irony exist. And
I also don't know
You gonna be
how
doing
to
that
say
the whole
where we're
time?
going because we're getting off this debt system.
Exhibit A. Those who...
Yeah, that's why it's kind of confusing to a lot of people. I mean, debt is, money. You know what I mean? So it's really it's just hard to fathom like what's going to happen here in the near future. Buy more ammo.
Well, I know what's going to happen, but I don't know how it's going to translate to us besides the tyranny.
Yeah, well, it's more or less going to be a CYA, CY your friends. Yeah, I don't know. I'm prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
Charge me a lot of interest.
Yes, that's the only way banks make money, by making debt loans. Debt equals money pile. Remember that. Debt equals money. The more loans they make, the more money they make.
But if they don't have any money, then where did my money come from?
You're gonna want to take a step back, by the way.
Whoa! No way!
Yes way. And that's nothing.
This isn't to be depressed. I know a lot of people, understand this, but I get a decent amount of views, and I wouldn't say it's everybody gets a chance to watch it. Not everybody's in the know, so it's one thing that we kind of lack on a lot of these panels is an actual education, so don't feel
And
that
I
way.
wanted to ask before it gets playing, is this like an explanation of the Federal Reserve, or is it trying to like sell you on the Federal Reserve?
Basically, it's selling you on the Rothschilds taking over from the British to America, and basically how the banks are really controlling our government, and our government is basically controlling us as if we didn't some of us didn't kind of know
Well,
that.
like I've said before, all governments around the world, whether they even realize it or not, are carrying out a theater that is ruled by the one centralized world banking Ponzi scheme. And so I wonder if this shows that, or if it's kind of like propaganda to keep us in the Fed system.
No, it calls out the feds. You know, it calls out everything what they do. I thought it was really really informative. So you watching at least, I know it's probably slow motion for you, but it
No,
actually would
I'm
be nice.
interested. I'm kind of working on the side, and I'm gonna watch it, but
Right.
there is no way out. Like they have that clutch. Like the
Oh yeah,
only way out is
that
if
they
we would all like Robin Hood ban up around the world, and we're not gonna do that.
yeah they basically are calling it, pretty much calling it out. I think, in my opinion, what's really happening. So I'm curious to see if you agree and how you can expound on it later. So
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, need some money? They didn't do that.
Oh, they did exactly that, pal. Remember, banks make money by making loans, by selling debt, even to bad credit risks.
Yo, have some money, dude. Just sign here. Oh my gosh!
They called it free money.
Yeah, that's exactly what my loan guy told me.
free money.
But it ain't free. The worst part was offering money to people who don't even need it. People, pal, like you.
You're right. I didn't need him. I was happy here. I didn't need it. Why's he sad? He's making all that money.
Shh. He's thinking. Now wait for it. Now wait for it. Bingo. See, the bankers loan to everyone in town. But to make more money, they have to loan even more.
More? How much money do they need?
More.
Whoa, what's that?
Behold, a black horse riding. Credit card.
Wow, look. I mean, it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. What now?
Now, with power with all this money, we might as well party.
Oh, this is awesome! I needed to get my head clear. When I get back, I'm gonna straighten all this out. I just hope Dream is doing okay.
I'm going to get you, my pretty.
Yep, he is.
So what's going on, Chad? Is everybody getting bored? Is do I need to speed this up? Do you care? Do you not care?
I'm sure he is.
There, you put it on his tab. Little something for yourself. Wait.
You know, wait a second, Hartman. I just thought of something. If I got this money from the bank, and the bank got it from the Federal Reserve dump trucks,
Go on.
then where does the Federal Reserve get their money?
Real nice time, ladies. Real nice. Now, excuse me while I borrow these.
Say, Hartman, why am I wearing a burglar bikini top?
Because no one is allowed inside the Fed. Not you, not me, no American citizen, no duly elected member of our Congress, not the Supreme Court.
Not the Supreme Court?
Not the Supreme Court, not the Justice Department, not the CIA, DIA, FBI, ATF, ATE, NBC, not even G.O.D.
How come the government isn't allowed inside its own building?
Government? Pile, the Fed is a private bank owned by private stockholders. Do not let the name Federal fool you. This place is about as federal as Federal Express.
A private bank? But private?
Best to keep your voice.
It's interesting to see people see the belief that now banks are private, the government's private, things like that. It's it drives them crazy to open their mind to it.
Well, it's even more complicated is like whenever I was homeless getting in the stock market, it was the stock market. And since then, I had to figure out how it's rigged and modify what I'm doing, or I would be fucking broke because it is a rigged system on a algorithmic level right now because they're preparing to change over to whatever new system will be on.
Right. What's going on, John Thomas? Welcome, sir.
What's up, brother?
Are you in the knowing of this central banking system?
Oh yeah, I watched that. What's that? Aaron Russo way back in like 07 and all that. What was his documentary?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that. I'm just recently, changing my thoughts. So some of the stuff is relatively new to me, but just trying to process it as fast as I can so I can get to speed.
Could I throw out a possible new mindset that maybe, just maybe, this whole time they've been working to throw the fight for the new right. If you know where I'm going with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the banks are on both sides of they don't lose in any way, shape, or form.
I've
So
had
you
a
have
couple.
No, they are the system. Like
Mhm.
that money in your mattress ain't worth shit if they fail. That's whenever we call things in America too big to fail, we're not saying, oh, those guys are so successful it never fails. Too big to fail means if we let that fail, our way of life crumbles underneath of it.
Think
Yeah,
about
it's
this.
a crash. Everyone
about
No,
will be
it's a
this.
devastated.
collapse.
It'll be devastation, really.
A crash is, oh, your money's down, hang in there, change course. A collapse is, oh shit.
What if all this wokeism, all this making these these transgenders and things feeling safe to come out and bully us online in the schools, in the institutions. What if all that is just been to lure these people out and they've already been betraying them?
Oh, like rounding them up.
Exactly.
Well, for
I
one
don't know.
thing, I ain't getting bullied by anybody. Not no trans, not no Paul enslaved, not no cops. But trans is leading into transhumanism that will both be technological and dual gendered. And the mark of the beast will probably make you full Futanari.
I mean,
But
think about this.
John Thomas, you don't believe in the Bible. You think it's part of the enemy. So I'm just talking to a brick wall.
I don't
Well,
know
there's
what
I'm going to cut in here. The metaphysician says, Steve, your thoughts on what the government shutdown actually means? Yeah, so currently there's about to be a shutdown. I was in the military when it was shut down a few times. It really doesn't mean shit. Everyone's making a big deal about it. Government
Oh, it
employees are
does
still going
mean
to get
shit.
paid.
Even Brandon himself said black people are going to be hating life when this shutdown. Because
Yeah.
all your food stamps and your fucking government benefits are gone. Even government workers got to go to work for free until it's over.
No one works for free. They're still going to get paid. Just no money is going to be moved for days. I mean,
Right.
honestly,
And
that's really what happens.
and if something goes bad enough, no, they don't get paid. But that's like rolling into some Mad Max shit.
Well, actually, if it never got turned back on, that's what we should be
But
watching out for.
it will be, because what I've been saying for a year, that everybody says, oh, that's just Tom, is I wouldn't be surprised if it does all get shut down. And what did I say, chat? What did I say was going to happen after some kind of epic shutdown? Maybe a power out, maybe a fucking internet down, maybe martial law for 10 days. What happens after that? Oh, a new monetary system around the world.
Yeah.
Think about this. This goes back to a story in the Bible, actually. There was a guy named Jehu. He's from the house of David. David's house brought in all the Molech worship, all the child sacrifice through Solomon. And then years later, this guy named Jehu decides that he wants to get rid of all the child sacrificers, all the Baal worshipers. So what does he do? He's the king. He declares a solemn assembly for Baal. And then all of the Israelites that show up to that assembly were massacred. So what he did is he laid a stumbling block. He said, come on, I'm the king. It's state-sponsored. We're going to serve Baal tonight. And when they got there, they killed those people. Now, the problem with that is his family was the most worst ones at having brought that shit into the kingdom. So why wasn't he killed? So what I'm saying is, what I'm getting at is, if they've lured out all these kids, taught them to be trans, taught them to be woke, taught them to be, Barack Obama's got your back, Joe Biden's got your back. It's okay. You can bully them online. You can censor them. You can cancel them. You can act a fool. You can loot. You can rape. You can,
Get
do
your
all
point,
that
please.
stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My point is, what happens when Warren Buffett and Joe Biden and all those people were saying, we did that to get rid of them for you? Are you going to
What are
turn
you
to those
talking about?
What I'm talking about is the arsonist becoming the fireman, becoming the hero. If the arsonist sets the fire, do you thank him for dragging you out of the fire?
I think that if they're going to drag out people who are gay, people who are in LGBT, just to is that what you're saying? To get rid of them? That we should cheer? That we should cheer for that or something? Is that what you're trying to say?
And why would that be, John? I'm telling. If you know that we're in a
That's
beast
fucking
system,
tyranny. Why would I be happy that my government just grabbed a select group of people and just shit on them? And
then you don't want to know about this crazy 9/11 thing that happened, Steve.
Yeah, I know, right? No,
but John, you're just like Phil, John. Like, you go around, you keep citing the same book you say is leading us astray, and I'm fucking sick of it. Like, you don't make sense. No, you're citing the King James Bible. You're citing the King James Bible, and any other time you'd be up here telling us it's teaching us the wrong thing, leading us the wrong way.
I'm sorry, John. I'm going to take you off, buddy. I really don't like the vibe that when you bring to my panels, for some reason, you generate a tone in a zone that I don't want to be in. So let's get back to this movie.
Just go get your wife back, John Thomas.
This is Ethan, Federal Reserve.
Hey, Heath, Bill here, First National.
Hi there, Bill.
Sorry, John, not tonight, pal.
Bill, how are you?
Good. We're running a little low on money.
No problem. How much you need?
Oh, how does 20 million sound? What?
Excellent. We'll ship it over first thing tomorrow.
Wait, he can just call up the Fed and ask for more money and they give him whatever they want?
No, pal. The Fed don't give the banks money. The Fed loans the banks money. The banks have to pay it back with interest. Now, come on, time to go.
Wait. I still don't understand. Where does the Fed get their money? I mean, if they're a private bank. You said they're a private
Us
bank, right?
busting our asses to pay the loans is where they get their money.
This is Mel, United.
Yeah, we're our taxes are paying that interest.
And we're paying, like, you go to the bank and get the loan. They don't hand you a duffel bag of cash to go buy a house. They just say you got that house, and now you're paying the cash to the bank with your paycheck.
Yep. What's going on, Mitchell?
Yo, man, good to see you.
Good to see you, brother. You watching this video with us yet?
No, I just popped in.
Yeah, I'm
Mitchell,
just
you got
going
any kids?
Would you ask him?
If he has any kids?
Kids.
No, I don't. No.
If you had a boy, he'd be a son of a Mitch.
Welcome, buddy.
Statesman.
Hi, ML. First National needs another 20 millis.
We're already running the presses full steam here, Ethan.
Gotta keep making loans. Gotta keep the money flowing.
All right, you're the Fed. Whatever you guys say. 20 million more by morning.
But I don't get it. What's so wrong about the Fed printing money?
Because it's unconstitutional, pal. Our treasury is supposed to create our money, but now the Fed controls the printing of America's money. Nobody gets a friggin' dollar that the Fed didn't print. So, they print the money, then they loan it to the government, then they charge the government interest, then the government taxes you to pay for it. Wake up, pal!
God, I don't see what the big deal is.
You know, you're right, pal.
Wait a minute. Wait, I am?
Yeah. I forget how effective they are at keeping you ignorant.
Well, that's okay. Hey, I'm not ignorant.
Do you even know what money is, pal? In the long, long ago, people bartered. They traded things they had for things they wanted.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Talcott was talking about this, bartering, how it used to be, like how I got some wheat, you got the eggs, let's trade it up, but he brings the question is that, people sometimes don't want what you have or what
Right.
price you want to trade for. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
that's the same with these motherfuckers that got their gold and silver coins. It's like once we're down to Mad Max barter, I don't want your fucking gold coins. I can't eat them. I can't shoot them. I can't fish with them. It's gold and silver is a good investment still if we retain society. Like once there's no society, it's like the child playing with the giant ruby on the Batman movie story.
I think you're going to have to stock a lot of bullets because bullets are going to be worth more than most gold.
That's
Most
why
silver.
a shot was called a shot. To get a
Mhm.
shot of liquor, it was one bullet.
I'll trade you my raspberries for that there pot pie.
I don't want your berries.
Come on, pal. Those sweet berries.
They're not sweet. They're old, and I don't like berries.
Give me that pot pie!
No.
As you can see, this bartering situation created some problems. Then one day, a goldsmith walked up and said,
Now, everybody thinks gold is valuable, so why doesn't everybody trade gold for things they need?
a price was set for gold, and now it was very easy to conduct commerce because people could trade gold for all the things they needed.
Hartman! Wow, look at all my gold! Hey, stop them! That's my gold!
Damn thieves!
Say there, Pyle. I've got a vault and some guards. I can keep your gold safe for you for a small fee. Yeah, sure, that'd be awesome.
You see, pal, this is how the first bank made money.
There you go, Pyle. I owe you 100 gold coins. Okay, great. Come back anytime and redeem your gold when you want it. It'll be right here in my vault.
Now you're holding the very first paper money, pal.
Wow, this is great.
What do you think of that first few minutes of this video, Mitchell?
I don't know. I don't quite.
Tommy, I
haven't
told you you better quit coming on panels, Tommy.
I haven't quite
You
grasped
need to
it
kick
yet.
that. Can you hear me?
Nah, this dude is Tommy
mic
is
still cracking?
he was with 17-year-old
Kick
girl.
that faggot. Yeah, he's part of the Linguini crew. He already came at me at a number of places, and he tried to come to my face like he wasn't about it. But he's done. He thinks he's something. He's done.
No, I mean, it's bullshit. I've heard the fucking story. If you're going to be fucking childish and just belt that shit out, like, it's not.
Yeah, I wish he'd come to Denver. Fucking come in front of me and say that shit.
Yeah, that's sucky. I'll get back to this. Fuck that dude.
It all makes
Fucking-
sense. Oh, that's right. It was good.
Oh, no, actually, Mitchell, see, he interrupted us. What did you think of the video? Did you. Is it corny?
I haven't quite developed an opinion yet.
No? Right on.
I do have an opinion on the whole money system, but it's kind of stripped down to the bare bones, and then I don't really get into all the details. I don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm just still searching and finding my way. But it seems pretty like much of a consensus so far, everything that I've heard. So I was curious.
I think there's a really good video that's like 4.5 minutes, maybe, that you might like. If you want to play it, you wouldn't have to worry about a copyright strike, but it's by Justinian Deception. It's his first video. And that describe like how he describes it. That's what really resonates with me. So I mean,
Justinian deception. You said
Justinian, yeah, Justinian deception.
Justinian deception. I'll look at it.
A dog is begging for chicken. Sorry.
Right on. We'll get back to this video.
Everybody started using IOUs because everybody knew the IOU was as good as gold.
Wow, this candy is really a good price. 1 IOU. I'm getting some more for later. Hey, wait a minute. It was just 1 IOU. 10 IOUs for chocolate? You can't just raise prices like that.
Oh, the Candyman can.
Oh, the Candyman can. Wait, that is just freaking wrong.
It's called inflation, pal. It makes your IOUs worth less and less until they are worth nothing. Less bang for the buck. Dollar ain't what it used to be.
But I worked hard and I baked all those pot pies. Now I have to work harder to make less? That's not fair.
Oh, if you think that's not fair, you're gonna love the next part.
What's he doing?
How do banks make money, pal?
By making more loans?
Oh, that's right. He's good. See, he prints more IOUs without any more gold, loans them out for interest, makes a pretty penny, and nobody is the wiser. Unless everybody wanted their gold back at the same time.
No. That's my gold.
Not anymore.
What are you talking about?
I'd like to redeem my IOUs, please. Thank you very much.
Hey! I want my gold back now! Thief!
Gotta love the bank run, bringing people together. See, they all found out he was stealing, made a run on the bank, and demanded their gold. But as you can see, there ain't no gold to get. Herdman! Don't worry, pal. Back in these times, vengeance will be yours. 3 things in this world you don't do. Never mess
Can you pause it?
with another man's woman. Never mess with another man's...
Yeah.
First off, that cartoon with the black hair, that's the cartoon version of Kenny Powers. It's got to be. Can't remember the actor's name. But yeah, Joe Cool was saying on Jax one day that like in China tanks are just sitting at the banks in general. Like no, that was just during the bank run. Because they know when people are going to be coming for money and it won't be there for them. So that's why they did have tanks there. And they will have things happen like that in America too. Not necessarily with tanks, but you saw the TikTok videos. People were showing up to get money out and it just wasn't there. And they had no explanation for them. And numbers dropping. Americans did have gold. Thank you for Danny McBride. Americans did have gold up into the Nixon era. Nixon was the one that instated you must turn your gold in, and if you don't, you will be a felon. And us Catcoin holders were speculating if that was going to happen to us, because technically retail wasn't supposed to own XRP, and there was a time we thought there was going to be a buyback like the gold thing, where if you didn't get rid of it, you'd be a criminal for keeping it.
Ego, and most importantly, you never mess with another man's money. Else, a man will mess with you.
My God! You hung him?
Yes, pal. Oh, we hung him. We hung him high. And do you know why?
Well, because he was a thief?
Because, pal, an evil invention was born. Man discovered how to turn worthless paper into gold. Thus was invented the ultimate machine to steal real money and enslave all the nations on Earth. It's alive!
Oh, now come on. You're just being dramatic. I mean, I lost my house, but...
What is that? Explain.
A nuclear power plant?
Mm-hmm. Produces lots of electricity and little pollution. An invention for the good of humanity.
Okay, but what's this have to do with...
3, 2...
Holy!
Atomic energy. A discovery more powerful than anything man had yet conceived. It can be used for good or evil. Now, Unlike Einstein, the goldsmith's discovery has been kept a closely guarded secret. It was never intended for you to see. This discovery is called fractional reserve banking. In the wrong hands, it's more powerful than the nuclear bomb in its ability to completely and utterly destroy a nation who is subjected to its perversion. No, 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 no. It is time we stop this evil secret and the men behind it. You're being ridiculous. Before America is destroyed forever. Believe it, Pop. No, 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 no. I just want my dog back. Damn it. That's it. I give up. Let them live in chains. No, Hardman. The Tree of Liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Thomas Jefferson? Mr. President, how do I get him to understand? As we did, son, remain vigilant. Too many have hidden the truth, and the light of our liberty dims with every passing day. Quickly, take my horse. Show him. Wait, show me what?
Yeah, so this video, what do you think, Tom? What's your critique so far?
Well, I mean, it's going through the thing. I mean, all information is relative to where the person's at. Like, if you're a brown belt in Taekwondo, yellow belt class is going to be slow, but it's your show. I'll contribute where I can.
Well, I'm just curious, if somebody who really hasn't figured out, gone down the rabbit hole for central banking, if they were watch this video, do you think it would help maybe open their mind a little bit?
Probably be good for Jack, like you said too.
That's what I was kind of hoping he would see this, maybe get a little more perspective, a little more research, since he should be researching his beliefs, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure even where it goes. Like, big between October and 2024, like big things are going to happen, whether they make us aware of it or not. Because I've noticed a lot of stuff I've warned the community about, they still did it so low key that nobody knows or cares. Like, I had warned of that hack on various agencies that a couple different hacker groups had warned about, and people were following me around the panels going, "Where's this big hack? Where's this?" And I go, "It happened." Like it fucking happened, man. And sorry that we're not just Book of Eli when you look out the window, but yeah, that shit happened. So they might do a lot of this. We might have a lot of crash and collapse under our noses that your common public's not going to notice until we're already in the new system or already recovering and moving on.
Well, I think, hopefully, I'm hoping that if anyone out of the 150 views of video I get, that somebody actually may gain some type of knowledge from it.
But I will give you props, Steve. After how I stormed out of here last week, you've got like zero tolerance for anybody coming up here trying to fuck with me.
Not necessarily. You pissed me off pretty much last Friday, but I just never. You made me realize that if I don't want someone here, just to kick them, because I should have kicked you last Friday. I didn't want to. I didn't want to kick me. No, I know, but I didn't want to start the stream to have to be able to fucking make people leave because they're just not grown men, But I understood. You gotta fucking let your balls hang around a little bit too. So.
Yeah. Oh man, and that last motherfucker, the last place he saw me, he actually tried to ease in and act like we're cool. He just came guns hot. That was hilarious. It's like you said, you've heard it, you're tired of it. The whole community has. Paul doesn't even hold it over my head. I don't know what these kids think they're chasing down. It's ridiculous.
No, I mean, if I thought there was an issue there, I would have voiced my opinion, but I don't. I'm just fucking move on. You know what I mean? There's
and
nothing,
none of them,
no crime, nothing. Maybe a little.
None of them can prove this girl existed.
Right. It's just something that you said. Just off something
it's just a thing I said. Yeah.
You're like, I'm a 40-year-old dude, and I'm still a stud. Like, yeah, okay, bro, go for it. Whatever.
It's like everyone says you're not really rich. Prove it, but no one says, hey, you didn't really date a 17-year-old girl. They just
Well,
believe that.
You don't need proof on here. You can just say whatever you want, and automatically it's truth. You know.
It's when it slanders you. If it's something that goes against you, they don't need proof. If it's something that builds you up, we need to see your direct brokerage account. We need the serial numbers. We need your social security number. You're a liar.
Fuck them is what I say.
Like, if you want proof Cadence is a post-wall collision that's just going to go around on panels and cry, we can prove that.
Well, actually, I'll welcome Cadence. I don't think I've seen you here before. I saw you on Z Show this morning. So, you're quite the hot topic around these panels.
She shouldn't be. She goes by the name Quantum Epic.
I'll good luck to her trying to figure it out.
No, Steve. She's probably older school than you are. She's just going through 4 names without telling anybody that she's the same person. That's why if she goes on Z's panel to cry, it's just what she gets.
Yeah, but for sure anybody can say what they want on here. She could be just someone looking for attention. She should start her own stream and have a talk show, I guess. I don't buy into much of these online characters. Like, you can tell which ones are real or ones that are not so real.
I'm just proud of myself because I treated her the same way before I knew all those names were the same person. Well, what do you think of that? Trying to reset who you are, and I treated Cadence and Luck O'Dear. I treated you all like Quantum Epic until I found out, they are all Quantum Epic.
Yeah, looks like she's getting shit wherever she goes. I don't know. All I can say, Cadence, is stay strong. It's tough being on these fucking panels and people talking shit about you. So whatever. I don't know shit. You're welcome to stay, but there's no judgment here.
Where are we going? Stallion of Libertad, brought on the hoary wind. Oh, where are we? Battle of Waterloo. Hold on, we gotta get through. A money machine. There it is. Hey, is that the same people? Rich banker men from Germany flying under the banner of the Red Sheet. They finance both sides of the war. We must hurry. That's him, the Red Shield courier. Shoot him. No, I'm not shooting anyone. Damn it, Pie. What? He beat everyone back with the news of the war and told England that Napoleon won. The Red Shield backers in London pretended that England was doomed and started selling their English stocks. The English went into a selling frenzy to get rid of worthless English money. But the English won, right? Of course they won. But it was a trick by Red Shield. They waited until the stocks plummeted to pennies and then bought England back for nearly nothing. What? They did that?
So, I don't know my history very well. Is this valid, what they're talking about?
It looks like it, but I'm wondering, is the sound popping for anybody else? Especially when
your mic is.
Yeah, you're on.
My mic still is?
Mm-hmm. So
maybe that's...
No,
I mean the audio. Okay. Well, I plugged in a mic, so I'm gonna reset my phone. I'll be back.
Right on. What about you, Mitchell? Do you have a history buff of this little past section they went through?
Yeah. I don't know. I get what they're talking about, but I don't know the details. I read The Creature from Jekyll Island. I don't know if you've heard of that. That kind of tells you where the Federal Reserve, how they were created, how it was.
I think I have a video on that as well. Let me see.
Yeah. And so, I learned, I don't know. I mean, it's just, it's so fucked up. There's so many details about it. But the main thing that I kind of learned to recognize that is most important is, how debt works. And then,
Something about that.
Especially that's it. The mortgage, the mortgage fraud. Mortgages are a fraud. So you just gotta look at it as a whole. The whole system's a fraud. So There's a few guys that I could. They're a little more long and drawn out, but I think there's a couple of videos I know of that describe that aspect of it really well, like in complete detail. But they're like an hour long each. So
Yeah, I'm just taking some notes. Appreciate info that I can look some stuff up in my free time, get a little more educated.
yeah, it's I don't know. I've just learned to try and stay away from debt. You know, that's the main thing, because that's how. I wish I could describe it a lot better, but you know, like when you go in and you get a loan, basically, like fractional reserve banking doesn't even really exist anymore. Is how I see it. You know, it's they need no reserves. So
Are you using any digital banking right now?
yeah. Well, I mean, I have a credit union account, so I mean, but it's a state chartered credit union, so it's a little different than banking. You know, banks are for profit, credit unions are like member owned, basically.
Yep, I have one as well. No, I was just curious because with the whole going to digital money, something like that. I know you live on the road, so I was curious if how that would impact your life.
I don't see it happening anytime soon. I mean, I think it's all a bunch of nonsense, but they can't completely get rid of cash right now. It's just the infrastructure is not set up for it.
Well, it seems like everybody's just so afraid. You know what I mean? They're buying into everything they're hearing again. You know,
The system is
being deceived.
collapsed a long time ago. You know, it's like the shit's. You know, if you have any like realization of, you know, there's no hope for that system. It's
doomed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of hanging on, and I don't think it's gonna crash. Like, I mean, it's been crashing, but I don't think it's gonna like have this catastrophe, like kind of Tommy explains. You know,
Gotcha.
like, it's all fear porn to me. I mean,
Yeah, I think I
I don't
actually
know.
talked about that in the rest of a little bit more in this video. I'm gonna put it back on.
Leaders found out they had no choice but to give themselves over to the Red Shield. Their money was gone, and they were slaves to the Red Shield war debt. Since that time, the English have been paying their national taxes directly to the Red Shield private bankers. The people have no idea. But the bankers bragged about what they did to us, laughing at us all the way to the bank.
Why, it's the best business I've ever done. If I can control a nation's wealth, I care not who makes its laws.
Oh, is this what Jefferson wanted to show me?
No, look. They're in America, too? The Red Shield banks are here, Pie. Seeking a way to conquer our American dream. The dream you have, Pie. The dream of free men. They tried to take over our country many times and failed because Jefferson and the Patriots vowed to stop the evil tyrants at all costs. By authority of eternal God, he would not let the bankers win here. To preserve our...
Welcome back, Tom. What's going on, Flow State?
Mic check, mic check.
Oh, that's much better, Tommy.
That's too bad because now Flow State's here and I gotta go.
Yeah.
But just for Chuck in the chat, like, this is what I've been trying to tell you guys, that it doesn't stick. Yes, your debit card is digital money, but it's still that petrodollar fiat. It is not the blockchain we're going to where every single coin has its own digital social security number, if you will. It's why they're going to tokenize everything. Car title, tokenized. Home loan, like home deed, tokenized. Land deed, tokenized. Because you can't make counterfeit those. And they can't go somewhere without it being seen where they go. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with Tommy, actually. And you could have
Yeah, well, you
taxes
don't
built
agree with
into
the
each
rules of
transaction.
honor or integrity. Go fuck yourself.
Well, these aren't my rules of honor. These are your weird rules of honor.
Have you seen any of this video?
No, they're the same. We didn't
is it
make
Freedom
these
Tunes?
rules.
I don't think so. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
Tommy Loft on his own. He's not even in the back.
We must not let our rulers load us with perpetual debt. We must make our choice between economy and liberty or profusion and servitude. Wow. I place economy among the first and most important of Republican virtues, and public debt is the greatest of the dangers to be feared. It is incumbent on every generation to pay its own debts as it goes.
We must have a central bank to secure this country's finances.
If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their money, first by inflation and then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of their property until their children will wake up homeless on the very continent their fathers conquered.
Jefferson, you're mad. This country will have a central bank.
Who's that? America's first Secretary of Treasury.
Alexander Hamilton?
Not for long. Aaron Burr, Thomas Jefferson's vice president. They didn't take too kindly to our first Sec Treasury. Sweet shot, Burr. The first attempt at a central bank only lasted 20 years and we shut it down. But the bankers tried again against Old Hickory President Andrew Jackson.
You are a den of vipers and thieves. I intend to rout you out, and by the eternal God, I will rout you out.
After surviving an assassination attempt, Jackson finally defeated the bank in 1836. When asked what was the greatest accomplishment in his life, Old Hickory replied,
I killed the bank.
And those were his last words. I killed the bank. And with real money backed with real gold, our country experienced the greatest boom in any nation's history. Oh, it was beautiful, pal. But the bankers, greedy for more power and wealth, were concocting their most ambitious plan yet to once and for all take control of the finances of the United States. In 1910, a secret meeting was held at a J.P. Morgan estate on Jekyll Island off the coast of Georgia. This meeting was so secretive, so concealed from government and public knowledge that the 10 attendees used code names.
I am clearly the richest man, so I should be the one to run the super-secret central bank. I own all the oil in America. I'm clearly richer than you will ever be, hula girl. I should run...
So you ever seen this video, Flo? Did you say no?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Is it interesting to you or is it boring? You feeling bored?
Sorry, no, I was distracted by your chat. I'm not particularly enthralled in it. I mean, it's good information, and I think people should know it. I'm aware of it. But yeah, it's not bothering me. And it is the central bank shit is interesting.
Are you buying into the belief that what we're watching this video is, basically the truth, taking it as the truth? The real truth?
As far as the historical account of like Thomas Jefferson and what's his name? Who's the one that wanted it? Not Sam Adams. Anyways, yeah, there was a lot of debate about central banks. What's oil's role here? I have a feeling I'm going to disagree with the prominence that big oil is about to play in this, just because I think that big oil is blamed for everything bad more than is accurate.
They're pretty much putting all of them in the same pot, all the rich super billionaire, Carnegie, all the rich fuckers.
Yeah, Carnegie goes in it. Rockefeller goes in it.
Yeah.
Morgan goes in it.
But this leads to the Rothschilds being the ultimate on the top, owning everything. I don't know much about the Rothschilds.
And I'm still not 100% convinced the Rothschilds aren't a front. But As far as I know, that's all.
Yeah, so I'm just curious. It's like doing this research, and I watch this video, and I want to accept that what I'm seeing is a verbal, video display of what the fuck could be have happened. Where's the proof on paper? Or is
Well,
this...
I'll pay a little bit more attention and stop engaging the chat.
Yeah, I'm watching the chat. There's Tommy's having a good time.
Tommy,
love Tommy. Love.
I like Tommy too, but he's gonna be mad at me forever over the.
Yeah, you guys aren't going to be friends. He doesn't want to be friends with you.
No, Tommy.
Did you
will always
see
be my friend?
Did you see Tommy started his own stream? He went live.
I caught a few minutes of it. It's what I've been telling him to do forever because he goes on everything.
He killed it, man. He talked the entire time, crushed everybody the entire time for hours, like
and
without a beat.
Right? Like I was planning on going back and listening to it, but
it was pretty good.
It was
proud
good.
of him. That's actually he had quite a lot of viewers, so a lot of people wanted to see what the fuck he had to say without anyone mod godding him. He did come up with that word, didn't he?
I don't have any idea.
Did you come up with the word mod god, Tommy? Are you taking credit for that?
He did come up with the seasons.
Season 4 right now,
which actually I kind of like. Like at first I didn't get it at all, but the more it's kind of simmered on, the more I kind of like that perspective on things. I don't know where the seasons begin and stop. I just sort of.
Well, I guess I went from season 3 to 4, so.
Well, I don't think I entered until season 2.
Yeah, so you got some time in here. Wow, yeah. Mod God is mod powers. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and play this some more.
All right, let's go. I'm paying attention now.
Trying to educate my my viewers, that are maybe not so far down the rabbit hole. Hopefully, this might jar a few things up there.
The super secret central bank. You're nothing compared to me, Lube Job. I shall run the secret bank.
Silence!
Supreme Master Leader, I didn't know you were gonna be here.
I'm not. Neither are you, dumbass.
Oh, yeah, right. He's so smart.
None of you shall run the bank. We have failed in the past because of openness. This time, the key to success is secrecy. The people must believe that they run the bank.
Yes, brilliant! A sneak attack. What's the plan?
We first create panic, then we show them the solution. With our man in office and well-planned timing, we will have our central bank. And so the people think it is theirs. We shall christen it Federal. The Federal Reserve.
They struck on December 23rd, 1913. When most of our Congress were at home eating fruitcake, these bastards, I mean bankers, presented their treasonous act to their newly elected accomplice, Woodrow Wilson, who had fortuitously already agreed to sign it before he was even elected.
Wait, the IRS? I thought we always had the IRS.
No, pal. They did this to us too. The Fed now has the exclusive power to print America's money. They loan this money to our banks and our government at interest, putting immediate debt on our own money, printing more and more, so each dollar they print becomes worth less than the one before. Merry Christmas.
What in the hell is that?
That, pal, is how our government now must pay back these debts to the Fed. Your taxes do not go to your government.
They don't?
It's the greatest theft in human history.
But, okay, I mean, I sort of get what you're saying, but it's also confusing. And really, Hartman, I don't see how it affects me at all. If I had more money, none of this would have happened. Hartman? 1955? Wow, what are we doing here?
Oh, a little bit of shopping. Here, hold this. Gallon of gas, 23 cents. Postage stamp, 3 cents. Ounce of gold, $35. Hot baby,
priceless. Best be getting back.
Hey, Hardman! I need my car, man!
Oh, was that my gold chain?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Now, pal, would you agree that you have the same exact things you had in 1955?
Yeah, 1 stamp, 1 gallon of gas, 1 ounce of gold, and 1 home. Wow, we just made a lot of money.
Oh,
Gotta pay your
fucking
taxes.
IRS.
Bet it's nice to have made all that money.
Wait, that isn't fair. Now I actually have less money. I can't even go buy the things I just sold.
The IRS and the Fed's inflation work together, pal. They aren't just taxing gain, they are taxing their inflation. You are no richer than you were in 1955. Now, does that sound fair or American to you?
Yeah, but I mean, who doesn't hate taxes? I hate the IRS anyway.
Pal, the higher they make the inflation, the more your money they take. It's thievery. You're not paying taxes on any more. You are paying taxes on the same. And now, you have less. They take our property away right in front of our eyes, just like Thomas J.
I mean, it seems pretty legit.
Yeah.
Stuff that we constantly hear about.
Yeah, and all that I totally am on board with. I think that one thing that doesn't get enough attention, and it makes sense that it doesn't because it's a more complex mechanism to understand than inflation, is the way that why you raise rates to slow inflation, and how when you raise rates, what you're doing is just taking more of people's money towards interest than you were before, and so they can spend less on things. So it's just another raising rates just means that we're going to make you poorer. Anybody who has debt is going to be poorer now. It's another form of tax, really.
Does it make any sense in knowing any of this? Is there anything that we can't fucking do nothing about it. So we sit here and talk about it. What are you going to do? But what could we do? Not just
there's lots of things. The first thing is identifying the problem, right? So that you don't get bullshit solutions. People who are ignorant of the situation are much more prone to vote themselves, into the Hegelian dialectic, you might say. It also, personally, I use this. I have an economics degree. I don't work in that field at all, but I do use it for my own investing.
Flow state.
Hi, Tommy.
You have an economics degree.
Oh, God, here comes the science, man.
Right, and that's how I got you, because your economics degree does nothing in a science debate, and I still know that you don't seem to know.
But, Tommy, we're talking
every
about
bubble,
economics.
every housing bubble, every stonk bubble, all this stuff of inflation, deflation, it's all just a product of the Federal Reserve System.
I agree.
And you're saying figure out what the problem is.
No, it's not really figure out the problem. It's like, what the fuck? We know what the problem is.
Yeah.
What is a plan to fuck it back?
Well,
right?
the funny thing about Chuck's question in the chat of wasn't that Hitler's flag? Maybe we make such a huge deal about the not Zemetics, because Hitler's big thing was get your Federal Reserve the fuck out of my country. And Abraham Lincoln agreed with that. John F. Kennedy agreed with that. Both very short-lived presidents.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world was united under Federal Reserve money to converge on the not Semitic warrior.
So what I was referring to as to bad making bad decisions if you have the proper information is like at the beginning of like 2 or 3 years ago, there was a lot of blame on big business for higher prices and price gouging, when really that's just a distraction.
Numbers dropping. I'm not sure if the beast that comes from the water means currency or the fact that these Nephilim and UFOs are probably at the bottom of the ocean. No, sorry, Steve. That was all biblical and shit.
Well, you're the leader in that because I'm a humanist. I don't believe in the spiritualness. I don't think Flo does either. So, you have
Are you a humanist?
stuff.
Humanism is so I don't know. Like,
no,
let me
we
put
know
it this
that.
way. I take a little sentence out of what a humanist is, what it is, it stands for, is the fact that they just don't use religion. They use fact based to make decisions on what they are in life. That's
I
it.
think that
Some other
their
bullshit they got
tenet-
tied around it, but
it's
But
not.
that's
It's
what I'm
it's
about to bust Ben
anti-religious.
Thorpe for. Hey, excuse me. You have no hand here.
It's
Closing.
anti-religious.
I'm about to bust Ben
it's
Thorpe,
atheist though, right?
Mr. Roman Catholic, for
yeah.
saying he doesn't think that Destiny on mushrooms should be able to have his guns. He thinks Destiny should turn in all his guns because he did psychedelic mushrooms. I said, have another BJ from your daughter, Ben Thorpe. Some
I get the
non-freedom bullshit
Humanist
he's talking.
newsletter for some fucking reason. They signed me up for it, and it's all very, very, pro shots, pro Fauci was their person of the year, pro abortion. It stands for a lot of things that I'm not down with.
Yeah, but who cares? Because you got no baseline to come from anything.
No, I don't have your baseline.
Which is a baseline. I said you have no baseline.
I think that my baseline is closer to God than your baseline.
I don't think so, because you seem to ask the same questions about both shape debate, God, and monetary systems that never seem to click. And
I wasn't asking any questions about the monetary system.
Oh, are you just thinking I mean right now?
Humanist is the same as a cannibalist? Is that what you said, Chuck? Humanist is the same as a cannibalist.
I don't think that's what he means.
What's a cannibalist? I mean, am
That's
I
a
going
person
to eat
that
people?
eats people.
I believe in humanist is because you got to think about it this way, Tom. You when you believe in a God, you believe that you believe something wants you to believe a certain way. I just believe what I want to believe. I don't believe what something else may tell me what I think.
Right, and that's why you would have to deal with like these socialists or whatever. Like, I'm not saying God is required. I'm not saying a belief in God is required for morality, but there's a baseline where to have nothing, it's like handing Joe Biden your fucking leash. Like, here, sir, in the long run, you'll ultimately get me because I have no counter. Like, us God people are the ones that are like, yeah, if you require some kind of modification or insertion on me to buy and sell, one of us has to go.
Oh, Tom, I didn't make any sense of that, buddy. Did you get anything from that fellow?
I was looking at the Humanist Manifesto.
Well, I'm saying if you're not Muslim with 30 virgins or 70 virgins or whatever waiting on you, if you're not Christian with the pearly gates, if you have no belief that your life is more than just this 75 years, you will just eventually go with whatever, even down to 1984. But even Christians that I don't get along with, I'd like to have that hard line where we don't even have to see or contact each other to know, oh, that's the line that's crossed. We don't go past that. Like, you must delete me because of my faith.
I feel that's the way I'm treated a lot because I don't have faith. Like, oh, you don't have faith? Get the fuck out of here. What's wrong with you?
Well, that's the popular beast system narrative, but I don't know of many Christians.
How could you not believe in this God? Like, how can they?
Well, then they're not doing it right because, like,
exactly.
I mean, that's literally what you just did to me.
No, I'm talking about honor with you. That's even atheists can get on board with the
that's
words.
not what you were talking about.
So you're telling me why I've disowned you as anybody relevant? You want to tell me why?
Yeah, well, I'll also tell you about Christianity.
Because see, the reason you don't get it is what we're saying. You don't have that baseline to stand on.
What's the most important 2 laws in Christianity?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, it's a setup, though. It's a rhetorical question.
I know it is. That's why you can go fuck yourself, because you're not Christian. And this is what I said you were doing to Sophia. This is why you're dishonorable.
You're not doing the second.
You kept me backstage to do what you're doing to Sophia, but it was 4 of you against her.
I kept you backstage because you talk over everybody.
No, that's a lie. That's a goddamn weaponized lie, just like Joe Cool was doing on Jack's play. See, you're talking over me now.
I bounced
And
you
I
backstage
also
3
covered
times before
I
I made it
also
permanent.
covered that this talking over thing, I covered it on Beck's channel. Y'all say it'll be my turn. Once I start talking, you count to 3 and you've determined that's enough time and you start talking. So go fuck yourself, Flow State. You ain't shit.
Well, you're
You
not
got a
Christian.
channel. You had a panel full of people. Fuck off and go live. This
You're not
guy
Christian,
knows
though.
I'm here every Friday. He's expecting me every Friday. And the only thing that can get in the way of that is your dishonorable ass barging on up here.
You're not Christian.
Tommy.
Fuck, I'm not.
Do you love men? Do you love your brother as yourself?
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Why? Because
All
I
you
don't
ever
give
ta-
my
all
money.
you do is
Because
go
I
around
don't
to
do
different panels
everything for
talking
them. Is
shit
that
on
why I don't love them?
everybody. Just
I'm
listen to
sorry. Were you
yourself
talking
sometime.
when I was
Listen
talking?
to yourself sometime.
Oh, you think because I say some bad things that I'm not Christian?
I think that what you talk about displays what's in your heart.
Show an example.
Like how? What do you mean? Show an example.
What?
Of you talking bad about
What have
people?
I said that's so horrible?
It's not so horrible. It's that it shows your attitude towards the world. If you go back and listen to your stream,
And
I
how
bet
much
it's
have you
4
heard me
hours.
say?
I've heard you say.
How much
less.
have you
talk
heard me
less
say
than
in these streets compared to what you see of my real physical life?
Well, I've obviously never seen your real physical life. But I've
Then
heard
shut
you
the
talk an
fuck up. That's
awful
my
lot.
point.
Right. Oh, so I can't judge you because I haven't been.
No,
there
I've
to
said
hang out with you
openly
in
that
person.
I've been running. I said openly I've been running a game and not necessarily lying, but I've been telling grab 'em by the pussy versions of things. I did lie when I said that I struck Paul's channel just to watch him spurg about it until we found out, oh, there's no way it was Tom, because he said that only 2 strikes showed up. We know one was Monkey Movie Guy, and then Cynthia took responsibility for the other one, and that was after he had already spurged about me doing it, had his whole
What
vault
does that
taken
have
down.
to do with what I was talking about, though?
Well, that was having to do with I've been running game on you fools. And you
Okay.
want to tell me that you want to tell me about who I am because
Which
you've
is
been
still an adversarial interaction with your fellow humans that you're supposed to
Do
love.
you think? Oh, so you subscribe to the Jack Talcott hippie version of Jesus?
No, I'm like, this is literally what Jesus said: "Love the Lord thy God." And
I do.
And what's the second one?
Oh, I think you're gonna bust me on it. What?
Love your neighbor as yourself. I think is how it was phrased.
Yeah, I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Are you saying he doesn't, Flow State?
I am definitely proposing that he does not love his brother, and anybody who's listened to him talk, it should be pretty obvious.
Well, I hear
he's
a lot of
pretty
people
fucking
talk a
rude,
lot of
but
things
I don't
that I know
know.
aren't true.
I think there's worse people out there than.
Oh, for sure. There are for sure worse people.
Listen, when
real
people are
dirtbag.
telling me I'm a doomsday prepper because I have extra food and water, I have
Mhm.
extra for my neighbors because I know they're going to come knocking, and I don't want to have to fight them off.
But what if
So
they
do I
don't
not
believe
love
in
my
your
neighbor?
God?
What?
What if they don't believe in the same God as you?
That has nothing to do with it.
Hey,
What
Tom,
if-
you love me? You little fuck? You love me?
No, I'll kill
I'm your
Snafu.
brother, right? We're brothers, right?
No, you're no brother
No,
of
we're
mine.
not.
No shit.
You're no
No, we're
brother of
brothers
mine.
in Christ.
Don't
So
start
we're
no
brothers in
shit,
Christ, even though
Snafu.
you're a fucking piece
No,
of
this
shit.
is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You flip it, Flow State. You would ask Snafu. You would ask Snafu, how are you a brother in Christ to go around and keep calling me a pedo when you know it's not true? Just like the first guy that got kicked tonight.
Well, you kind of admitted it, but I'm not going to go
I've
there.
asked,
Again,
I've
he's
asked
I'm not
Snafu
bringing
to
it up,
stop
BB.
saying
I just
several
asked if
things,
he
and I
loves
can't
me.
do it.
Flo's right.
See,
He
you keep
doesn't.
saying I admitted it. If I admitted it,
Flo's
why am
right
I
what
not
he was
standing
calling
on it?
your ass out on. That's all I'm saying. Flo's right.
No, you're not calling on shit. If I admitted it, why ain't I
And
admitted
you're
it
not
right
running
now?
any games on you. No, you are running games on YouTube. You're not running a game. You're
Snafu,
running games.
why didn't you answer your dad?
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about your what's the term? What's the word? Your adoptive father. You didn't answer him, and you've never spoken up about this person that says you sent a picture of your dick to a minor while you're calling me a pedo.
What are you talking about again?
I'm
Show
talking
me.
about there's
Repeat.
a lot of people that say Snafu sent a picture of his dick to a
Okay,
minor,
so
and I'm talking about
show me
there's
my
a video.
dick. Let's show it to me. I'll show it. Again, you're an idiot, dude. And
Oh, show me the girl. Show me the girl I pedoed
You
with.
don't treat people with respect.
Show me the girl I
You
pedoed
don't
with.
treat. We all fuck around with each other. But the fact is, Tommy, you come up here. You're right. You play games.
You ain't got a fact to your name,
Games,
boy.
Tommy.
I asked you a question.
Boy.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
That's great, guys. You guys are really bringing the chaos.
You brought him up, Steve.
I know. I'm
You
trying
brought
to
him
be,
the
I'm
fuck
trying
up.
to be a
You always
fucking
have to fuck
professional.
that up, Steve.
I'm trying to be a professional. Can you guys be fucking professionals, or are we gonna fight? What is
Professionally,
it?
from panel to panel, he does the same shit.
Everyone's got a fucking message. So, are we gonna be pros about it, or are we gonna bitch and scream like all the other crap that's out there?
No, I shouldn't even be up here with Flow State, much less that false pedo
Yeah.
accuser that allegedly sent
Oh, I
a
thought you
fucking
loved
dick pic
everybody.
to
I
a
thought
minor.
just like Flo said.
And
I
why
thought
don't
you
you
would
answer
get.
your
See,
dad?
I was just making a point professionally.
Why don't
guys.
you answer your
I was
dad,
just professionally
Snafu?
making a point, Steve. Really, I was just making a point.
Why?
Action
What point is that?
speak louder
What
than
point is
words.
that?
And when he was trying to say Mr. Flo is lying on him, I knew if I came up here, his true colors
No,
would show.
no. What did I say Flo's lying about? I said Flo's a dishonorable fucktard because he is.
You say everyone's a
I think that's
dishonorable
what he did
fucktard,
say.
though.
Well, there's a lot of dishonorable fucktards running these streets, like you.
Aren't you still supposed to love them?
Yeah, but I can also say, Flow State, I'm never gonna, do not come to a panel I'm on, and you violate that.
You can say that till you're blue in the face. You have no
I
authority
mean,
over me.
Snafu's out
Right,
there, you know,
that's the
wrecking people
point,
for good.
dickhead. You flexed your authority on me over
Right.
some false, trumped up shit, so now don't come following me around. Now you like that first pedo
Wait,
accuser
wait.
that came
Flo
out
is
Don't
following
say
you
it.
to my
around.
regular channel.
Say it, Tommy.
You didn't
Wait, so
have
you're
this
saying
as a
Flo
regular
is
channel.
stalking you? Flow State is stalking you, Tommy. Do you feel threatened by Flow State?
I think you dock men.
This isn't hardly. This isn't the beginning of stalking. I've stalked Tommy way harder than this.
Oh, okay. He's Spurgeon
You're
then.
a faggot,
He's Spurgeon.
Snafu. I wish you'd
You're
come to Denver
Spurgeon.
so I could break your jaw and shoot you in the
Dude,
face.
Colfax, fucking San Andreas. Dude, come on.
Hey, Snafu,
I've
you
been
got
out
anything,
the Denver
buddy?
303, man. You acting all hard and tough, and you living out there
Only
like
to you,
some-
bitch. Only to
Dude,
you.
I bet.
All right, I'm sorry, Snafu. You got to go to the back.
I
were
do
trying to have a
appreciate
conversation.
Snafu coming up
I
and,
do.
and allowing for that demonstration. Good looking out, Snafu.
He's getting.
Why?
But
You think
Tommy,
I'm not a
in-
Christian
in-
because I told that little pedo faggot I'd shoot him in the face?
In your
Does-
defense, I do think that that Snafu should not be running around calling you a pedo. I think that's
No,
I
no,
agree
he
as
shouldn't
well.
be saying that he's got people camping out, watching my door, trying to say when I come and go. I wish he'd come and surprise me in Denver so any court of law would let me go. Oh, he stalked you online calling you a pedo, saying he's got people watching your door, and then he showed up right in front of you? Oh, case dismissed, not guilty.
Tommy, if it was really true, you could easily change your online persona to something else. You know what I mean? If
No,
you
you
really
can't.
had to run from it, and you're not running from it, so I
No,
I
you're
really
goddamn right. I'm
wouldn't
not running
I
from
would-
anybody.
I wouldn't really fucking care what anyone had to say about me. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I care.
People are gonna feel
I
the way
care
they
because
feel.
okay, Steve, put two and two together. My address has been doxxed, and people say I'm a pedo. Now, anyone in Denver could recognize me, say that's that pedo, and come at me from behind. And you think there's nothing to worry about?
I think the chances are probably pretty slim. Then again, I don't know
Except
everything.
for that, hey, getting hit by lightning's slim, but it kills you when it happens.
How did you get doxxed? How did someone actually get your real life address?
Oh, on the well, it's in the video. But the police raid night, yeah, a couple of those guys figured, hey, it's fine to just give Tom's numerical address out.
They looked up the incident
yeah,
that was going on in his apartment, right?
Right on. Well, clearly you can protect yourself. I wouldn't worry about two shits about any of these fucking
But
well,
here's
I'm
the
not
wannabes
saying
online.
I'm worried, but
No,
I
no,
know
no.
it's
If
a
you want it to
possibility.
go, if you want it to go away, though, you have to quit playing into it, and spurging out plays into it.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I do.
I came
Welcome
up
back,
here to
Snafu.
just prove a point that he was lying and Mr. Flo was correct.
I'm lying?
He wants what he's gonna get. So I mean,
What do you
Well,
mean?
listen, you say not to play into it. I'm playing into it with reality. with Snafu and anybody.
Dude,
Show me the
you're
girl.
fucking delusional.
But you're bringing
Show
more
me the
noise and
girl.
attention to it.
You are bringing some attention to it.
No, I think the guy that just followed me here is proof that it's following me.
You brought it up
When?
tonight.
Everything.
yeah,
You brought
how
it
late
all
did
up,
you get-
dude.
how
I
late
would
did
just
you get
point
here
out
this
you don't
time?
love your brothers in Christ, no matter what they've done. Like Flo
What do you
said.
think love means?
No, you just couldn't answer him. You couldn't even answer Flo when he asked you. I'm just making a point.
What did I not answer?
You could say whatever you want, but actions prove things. And I'm not. And
Okay,
I
so
didn't bring any
prove
of that shit up.
something,
Dee Dee,
Snafu.
I didn't
What
bring that
are
up.
you
When he
talking
put it
about?
out,
Start from the beginning.
I'll just say yes. He said it online publicly. I mean, we've gone through the conversation, what it means and what it doesn't mean, but teach
What
your
are
own.
you talking
I don't
about?
bring it up, Dee Dee. Let's just remind you, it's always Tommy that spurgs out and brings it up.
What? Because
No,
you
I don't
neither of you
think I
were
heard you
here
say
when
it,
that
though,
fucking
Snafu.
MC Nemesis came up on panel and went into it. I brought it up. That's
Well,
what
that's
I thought,
him.
faggot.
I'm talking about yes,
Yeah,
that's him.
he came up here just
That's
to talk
him.
shit. So
I'll
I've
shove
heard-
your fucking nose bridge up into your fucking skull,
But see,
Snafu.
Tommy, you've made death threats publicly where you're going to bury bodies. You've threatened children
Just
online.
you.
So
Just
the fact
you.
of us fucking saying some of the things we say and the things you've said online and
hold
how
on.
you act,
Tommy,
I mean,
hold
it
on.
is real. He has made complete
Snafu,
death threats,
hold up a
dude.
minute. I'm going to put Tommy in the back just for a minute, Tom, because I needed to ask Snafu something. Are you pushing that for him to have shit or
No.
are you
No,
over
but
that?
Tommy, no, let me just be real with you because you don't know him. Like, really, you're kind
Oh, I know.
of taking. I
I
mean,
don't
you,
know anybody.
dude, the guy, you should know how he acts. So he's running around on panels all the time for years.
Mhm.
He has literally made death threats with his guns, talk about burying bodies. He's even threatened children. You know the story with the whole minor thing. We've talked about it. I'm not even talking about that. But the thing is there are certain people that he has really fucking threatened and done things to, and even their children. Like, he's an idiot.
Well,
And
let's go
I
through
do
this.
feel the way I feel about him, but you know how crazy he is online. So let's just leave it at that. I don't come up here and say, you pedo. I don't do that shit. I don't come up here, no, he springs out. I'm everywhere, he's everywhere. He thinks he's Mr. You-know-who. He's not. He's a joke, he's a clown. And yeah, there's reasons why people are saying the things they're saying and have the attitude they have with this guy. And then I'll just leave it at that, Dee. And you should understand, he's going pound and pound. He's been
No, I
spurting like 15 years.
He's
But
clearly an
when
asshole.
you make a
Right.
threat and have guns and say you're going to bury bodies, including on me,
Being an actor
myself,
isn't an excuse for bad behavior, man.
But I'm saying he's an asshole, right? I mean, straight up, we know
Right.
that he just says anything he can say that's the most derogatory that you normally wouldn't say, right?
I try to not trigger him to the dude. If you wanted me to go 100, I could, but I'm actually very holding myself composure to where I
No.
used to be.
And honestly, I can say that for sure that I've heard Tommy bring it up way more times than Snaps.
No, I agree as well. That's why I pulled Tommy in the back. I wanted to ask Snafu.
And since you guys stopped, and because there's bigger optics with the other bigger pogos we're going after attacking Paul, and Paul's not even going after them, I've kind of leaned back. Because again, this stuff's going online a long time. Tommy's been in this, as he says, YouTube streets forever. We know it's just data. It's people, doing their thing. Even Mitchell knows what the pogo thing. Fact is, Tommy's doing this thing. He's made
Put him in
certain
back.
things online, and I'm
It's
not
my
here
turn
to
to
fucking
respond.
bring
Put him in
anything up.
back.
But every time you bring it up, Tommy, how
Put
about
him
you
in
try
back.
not bringing it up and see how the fucking thing goes?
Put him in back. Put fucking Fag State back there too.
He's not saying anything.
Oh, he
What do you-
fucking did, and you don't have to kick him. Put him in back.
Well, he'll. I think he'll be a good boy. I don't have to kick him.
Well, I'm gonna
probably-
leave.
What?
All right. See what this is what the whole community doesn't get I'm trying to instill on every channel. And Ancient, I don't know what you mean by Hoax Wars is gonna have a ball with that. I got Hoax Wars, all right? He has me muted. I've been at every fucking stream. He has me muted because he knows I got him. That's why he deletes streams, because he fucked up. So you tell him to have a day with this, and tell him I got one coming for him, and that.
So you got nothing for Snafu?
Now Snafu keeps saying in his loop, "Oh, we all know Tommy threatens women and children. We all know this and that. he's resting on you guys never debunked his first shit, and he rides that bullshit. Because I'm not friends with that Rusty Smackleford. I hate that guy. And he took Snafu's video. Hey, shout to Lulu. I see Lulu in the chat. He takes the video and the timestamps. Both Lulu and Rusty Smackleford came back in real time, went, Snafu, you're a fucking fool. He said he would protect any child that was lost, and he was the first stranger to find him. They were like, he was swinging his dick, bro, that any lost child, you better hope he's the stranger that finds him. And he rests on not hearing that. He still stands on his own bullshit. Like, if I've threatened so many people, then he obviously would have the footage, wouldn't he?
Well, so no, here's my thing to Snafu, saying that you know, the threats and everything that you've done, is it criminal? Are there charges? Is it something chargeable? Or is just Tommy an asshole saying whatever the fuck he wants, no matter what it
Arpole, shut your goddamn mouth. That's why your stock ain't
Is that
shit,
what you
because I'm
think,
not
Tom?
publicly traded.
Well, I mean, you can make an illegal threat without being charged. You know, the one isn't necessary for the other.
What would constitute an illegal threat?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
I'll kill
and I don't,
you. I'm going to come to your house and kill you. I would think that.
right.
someone
I would
could be-
think things like that would count, but
Right, and with Paul and Snafu, and if I'm forgetting one person, there's at most 3 people I've made that kind of threat, and it always required if you came to Denver.
I mean, all right. I'm pretty
Thank
sure
you,
I've heard
because
you
I know
threaten
the
me
law
with
better
it.
than Flow State, felon ass, and I'm not going to come up here and compromise myself.
Well, no, I can praise. I mean, can you praise Snafu? I mean, he's trying to, you know, get these critical, you know, feelers out that something's awry.
No, I don't praise him because he says he never brings it up. He followed me for a year. Do you guys remember whenever
But
In
I'm
a
saying
Yurt
you
with
got to look at
Books
the
was
game,
a thing?
Tom.
Do you remember when In a Yurt with Books was a prevalent thing in our community? Because it was from the beginning of me going there till now that he would pop in already on 9. Go, Tom threatens women and children. Tom's a pedo. And he says he never brings it up. He's a fucking liar. He's homeless. He's avoiding his adoptive dad, who very much wants to find him. I know he hasn't because no one has put anything on that video remotely like, oh, reunited, and it feels so good. You're a
Would it
homeless
feel
bum.
bad
You
for the
blew your arm off
Hey,
trying
I
to
wanna
do
know
fucking
what
weed
video you're
oil in a
talking
hotel
about,
room.
doesn't fucking stop, man. You know why? Why do you enable him, Steve? It's fucking pathetic. Like,
I'm not enabling anybody. I'm enabling conversation of these guys trying to actually fucking coexist for like.
By the
30
way, how's it
seconds.
going,
It's
Mr.
not
Mitch?
gonna
And
happen. You don't realize that this is their MO. This is what they do. Like,
Hey, I'm willing to talk about anything and everything. I don't need to talk. I could act like this guy ain't even on here.
So
like
talk
whatever.
about why you don't go see your dad, why you're living out of a vehicle, and why you sent your dick to a minor.
fucking hours, dude, and then end it. Like, all right, come on, man. I just.
I want everybody asking me, and number one, Planet X watcher, never smoke
Hey,
crack.
what about the central bank? I
don't
heard
smoke
they
crack,
saw that
Planet
like
X
cartoon you
watcher.
did.
I
Is
just wanna
this
ask
is
you guys
still
an
that?
Nobody's
question.
interested in having a conversation about.
You heard
what
my
the fuck's
central
going
I
bank
on
just
here.
shit.
want
You
everybody
brought it
that's
up the other night
asking
when I
what
did a
happened to
live,
me
and I'm
in
glad
Hoax
you did.
Wars, go ask Hoax Wars, because I'd like to see what he says too.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I've watched a little
Yeah,
bit of
yeah,
that.
and I kept it that way, Flow State, because I didn't want you showing up.
Well, good. A new place for me to follow you.
And
to.
honestly,
I can't
chat,
wait.
unless you find out something different, what I think happened with Hoax Wars is the last time I was visible there, Chem Before the Storm and Carl and all these assholes showed up going, meth pedo Jew, meth pedo Jew.
Dude, you burn your bridges, Tommy. The way you talk to people, the
ain't
way
got a
you
receipt
come
in
off,
the
the
world
way
to
you.
show. Do you know what to do to show receipts, Snafu? I don't think you do.
All right, Tom, why don't you just mute and edit your video and stuff? I'm going to play this video here.
I just want to ask you guys a
Slowly.
question to ponder on, maybe, or you can
Yeah,
answer
what's
if you
going-
want. But would
what's
any
on
of you guys feel bad for the drunk loudmouth idiot wandering around the bar, starting shit with everyone who eventually gets knocked out? I mean, like, that's what I was saying. He's gonna get what he fucking is asking for eventually, and you know, yeah.
We all do at some point.
I'm not gonna feel bad for him. And so it's like I'm just so fucking tired of hearing this shit. He's fucking,
Who are you talking about?
this shit about the pedo shit. Just fucking being edgy as possible to try and fucking get attention. And it's pretty ridiculous. He's completely irrelevant. He's got no fucking legitimate message towards anything other than he's a fucking great guy and everybody's fucking attacking him for no reason.
Are you talking about Snafu or are you talking about Tommy?
Tommy.
Let's
It
put
applies
this.
to both, I think.
I think he's honorable, but I don't think he would hurt anybody that is innocent. But online, he's a fuckface.
He's willing to fucking back down, and Tommy's just fucking will go as long as you let him.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of enjoy him babbling, because he's got the gift of gab.
But is it coherent? I mean, it's not.
Sometimes it does make sense, and that's why I said something to him. Like I don't know what you were just talking about there. I'm just trying to get him to see the fact that the game that Snafu plays is he investigates shit that is fucking fucked up, and we should know about. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that because he's actually trying to do some good, whether or not it ruined someone's life because they did some fucked up shit, but or making people aware that someone did some fucked up shit. Let everybody know that, what kind of person you're dealing with. It can be a positive, unless it turns into a harassment issue.
I think that there's limited value in the stories, and I'm guilty of this too to an extent, but like we can justify our aggressive behavior by finding the sin that others have committed. So I'm not speaking to any specific instance. It just seems that there's a general disposition towards attacking others, but having something to back it up with or to justify it. When really,
if I'm gonna be 100% with you guys, when I started working with the InfoWar people, like started talking to Owen Schroyer all the time and Alex, and then Mark Fugel, and then I realized what Pogo was, and I learned digital experience, so to speak, patent developments, cloud, the whole algorithm, like just how deep this goes. A lot of you guys forget that this stuff is real, and you're right, Steve. I appreciate what you just said, and I try and calm down, and I'm willing to talk about anything and everything. I want you guys to know that. Like, if we need to reroute, let's reroute.
You have calmed down, actually.
I appreciate it, because I do listen to you guys when you get at me. Whether you think I don't or don't, I'll be all right. Everyone's fucking kind of giving me some shit. The ones I do respect. Let me put that out there. The ones I actually have respect for when they give me shit. Because, I mean, I give everyone, so I do try and listen,
Hey, Snappy.
What's going on, bud?
Hey, I want to put this pedo crap to rest with Tommy. In Colorado, age of consent is 15. Get
It's
that?
16
Look
in
it up.
I lived in Colorado for years, dude. Again,
Age of
the type of people we're
consent.
going after. Hey, the type of people we're going after. You ain't giving me. I get what you're saying. When a guy like him has made threats the way he has made at whistleblowers and journalists, the way he's done it, because we're deep, bro. And Tommy knows how deep the Snafu crew is, and he's made multiple threats and to many people out there. People he doesn't even know.
Opportunity and intent. Threat
Well,
has
said
to
before,
have
right?
opportunity
Hey,
and intent.
it's not illegal.
I'm trying not to talk shit. Why don't you
fucking
move
bad
on?
taste.
You don't have
It's
that
not-
on the
you're gonna
internet.
get down.
It's not illegal. It's bad taste. I get it. It's bad taste, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Let's stay on one thing at a time, right? Like if we're just talking about the pedo thing, then we don't need to talk about the threats at the same
Yeah.
time.
There you go.
It's just
I'll
one of
say-
those things where we can do better, right?
Right.
Right.
Correct.
I'll say it again. In Colorado, the age of consent, sexual consent in Colorado is 15. Texas is 14.
I think it's 15. I think it's 16 in most of the U.S.
Well, it's still pretty
No,
young.
I've looked. Well, I don't know about that. I looked it up in Texas. I looked it up in Colorado. Looked it up in Arizona.
Here in Kansas,
So,
it's 16. so-
17 across all of the United States is an adult. 17 is an adult.
I agree,
So
and
if she was
I'm not
17,
condoning
that is not.
17-year-olds for
That's
adult
true.
men, but I
Yeah.
will say that it's not. It's post-pubescent. It's legal. It's maybe a little. It's definitely kind of odd, but it's not what it's being called.
All you got to do is look it up. It's easy to look up, and it's 17 is an adult.
Well, if any of you were having sex with a junior in high school, I would look at you a little different and
Yeah,
weird.
pretty
It may be
Agree.
legal
Agree.
in your mind. It may be okay in your mind, but it's still disgusting in mine.
Well, they keep saying that he's a pedo and he did all this
Okay,
illegal
well,
stuff.
he brought that
I'm
upon
saying
himself.
that it
He
isn't
came to
illegal.
the fucking internet telling that story to fucking be cringe and get attention, right? He brought it upon
Exactly.
himself. He's not a fucking
I
victim
agree.
of this shit. He
Yeah, he
wants
does.
the
He does
controversy.
bring it up quite a bit. I'm trying to think the last time Snafu comes into the room and immediately starts yelling that stuff. He's the one who says the actual word quite a few
I
times.
don't know if I've ever heard anybody besides Tommy bring it up. To be
I
completely
do have
honest,
to. I think I have to agree.
He wants the controversy. So, like, stop painting him like a victim. He's a grown ass man.
Oh, I'm not painting him like a victim whatsoever. I just
No,
don't
I'm
believe
talking
the
about this
accusation.
dude that keeps repeating how having sex with a junior in high school is okay for grown men. Yeah.
I think that is still illegal, though. If depending on the adult's age, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Regardless, yeah.
If it even happened, he could be just talking shit.
I mean, the whole thing should just go to rest, though. If Tommy would let it go to rest,
I mean, is there proof of this girl? Did she come forward and say this? Is this just all him making up
is
a
it
story
even
about his
our
sex life?
business? You know, are we the
Exactly.
are we the investigators?
He's making up a story about his sex life. So
He even admitted to that's a possibility.
yeah. Well, like you said, if you think he's an attention getter, then I would assume that's what he would do if that was the case.
Well, he just said a minute ago that he's playing a game all up and down these YouTube streets, so that sort of paves the way for any number of anything that he could ever say in the future has now had the way paved for it. Like, oh yeah, it's part of my game.
You can only believe what you see, what you can see, right? So anyone can
Or
say
what
whatever
it says
they
in the
want.
Bible.
Or yeah, if you read the Bible and do what it tells you. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play any more of this video. I think I got to the point where I would have to just post this whole video separately without chat and a panel and everything if I'm really trying to educate some viewers that aren't educated.
I do think that the moment for education on this topic has sort of been lost.
Yeah.
It is a good topic, but it's hard to convey information coherently when Tommy is here every day.
Yeah, sometimes he can really get a good conversation, but he just doesn't like anybody else that comes up on the panel. Like, fuck Tom. Like, that's some shit, man.
He told me not to go on any panels he's on. I don't know how I could be so dishonorable as to not.
I guess I'm not gonna go. Of course
Right.
you're gonna go. Like,
Fuck, I was gonna go there, but Tommy told me not to, or I'd be dishonored.
Well, shit. No, I thought that was pretty interesting having all of you. I mean, you were literally like his top 3, people that give him a rise on panel. He fucking hates you.
He gives himself a rise with every single one of us. It all happens in his head. One of us shows up and his brain starts going, and then he starts attacking the thought. Except it's a person
trying to get into kill mode. Like, it's time to. I gotta assassinate. I gotta tear this guy down.
It's a weird kind of love he's got. But did you see the link I dropped in the back chat a little while ago about humanism and why I don't know that I agree that you'd be a humanist if you looked at their values or agenda?
Yeah, I do claim that only because I haven't researched. Like, I've seen some of the shit when someone just like how you did there, bringing to my attention like further analysis of what they're about. Again, I here I am trying to label myself with some type of. Everyone has to have a label, right? You can't just be you. You have to be something.
I mean, it is more comfortable to be able to put people in boxes, but sometimes the truth is that like none of these boxes really fit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is where my religious views fall as well.
Like, I just want to live me, do good to the people around me, and not follow some type of path. You know what I mean? Like, that's laid out for you in a sense. No fucking way.
I think that any institutionalized religion has to be wrong, right? Because it's taking a spirituality and it's turning it into a power system or a control system.
Oh wow, they got a whole American Humanist Association. I didn't even dig that deep.
Oh yeah, see, well somehow I got on their mailing list. I don't even know how, and I'm totally the wrong fucking audience for it because the resolution on equitable taxation, the resolution on like income and wealth insecurity, or inequality, food insecurity, gender-based violence, benefit corporations, immigration, white supremacy, the resolution on environmentalism, the resolution on climate change. Like all these things are talking points for shit I don't want anything to do with.
I think I'm just going to come up with my own religion. How smart would that be?
You're stevia.
Yeah.
And I could be a stevia if I join your religion, which is also an artificial sweetener, I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Right.
Make up our own religion. I thought about doing
the resolution to protect children from gun violence in the United States. Okay, so we got gun control in here.
Oh, are you still reading the?
Yeah, it's just everything fucking. It's the authoritarian left. That's what humanism is. It's the authoritarian.
When I first looked it up, I just looked up what's the definition of humanism, and the brief description was, I was like, they don't use religion, they think of logic and fact. I'm like, well, that's me, and I don't use that to judge what I do during the day. Like I see a lot of spiritual people that just doesn't fit my MO. So, but yeah, I didn't think it was. You can actually join this. It's like its own church, right?
Yeah.
I mean, basically.
Yeah, it is. It's just like atheism is its own church with its own set of dogmas and or behavior expectations, right? Code of behavior.
Yeah, I just talked to my daughter, and she said she was an atheist/humanist.
Which if she's going to school, I mean, she probably is more aware of humanism than you are, I would guess. If she self-identifies as an atheist humanist, they're basically the same thing in my book. But
well, she classifies it because I just talked to her tonight, and she believes the same way that I believe about God and all that. That it's just whatever, you know what I mean? If you want to believe it, fine. It's not that I don't believe it's not real. It's just I don't really care for that. I don't think the world just popped into existence and someone created it. You know what I mean? I don't use that as an answer. So
that doesn't make Big Bang makes even less sense to me than the creation stories. I definitely think there's value to being able to admit when you don't know something.
Yeah, to say I don't know.
Right. Which is what everybody should be doing on the God topic, by the way. I mean, aside from a handful of people who maybe had personal experiences, but there's nobody on earth who can prove or who can claim that they know God exists and also be able to back it up, right? So there's no point in really, I don't know, making that claim as aggressively as some do.
Yeah, it's just she left. You know, we never did anything with church or talk about the Bible or whatnot. So she kind of was like on her own to figure out what she wanted. And her boyfriend's Christian, and he's not really a Christian. You know what I mean? He says he's Christian, but he doesn't do shit. Right. So she's like, well, fuck that. I'm not just saying Christian just to be Christian, you know? So she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah. And I sort of am raising my daughter the same way. I don't try to steer her. I think that she's smart. I went through a little atheist phase, which was really more just it was atheism isn't intellectually honest either. I don't think.
I think it's a belief that's saying I don't believe there is an actual God. There's no God.
Right.
You
Right.
Now you're
Atheism is
believing there's
agnostic.
no God rather than believing yes, there's a God. You're believing no, there isn't a God. I'm like,
Right.
whatever. Believe whatever the fuck you want.
Right. So that would be more like agnostic, and I think agnostic is probably the most, for most people, it's going to be the most intellectually honest. But I think atheism is just as intellectually dishonest as any religion.
I tried actually changing in the past year to look because I always just shunned believing in the Bible and God and Jesus. It was never something I wanted to learn, like or care about or think about. And so I seen a close friend of mine like find Jesus, you know what I mean? So I'm like, maybe there's something into this. Let me look into it. But there's just so much argument about everything. It's just so hard to even want to.
As there will be, because the Bible's full of contradictions, right?
Exactly.
It sort of demands it.
You know, it's someone's a basic, idea of what they're interpreting from what they're reading is totally different than the next person. But they somewhat agree, but then they always end up in an argument.
I do think, though, that the colloquial standard, whether it's Protestant or Catholic, whatever, the Christian interpretation of Christianity, I think, is probably not correct. I mean, Christianity is the biggest religion on earth, and it has been for some time. And this is the world we're living in. And people, I mean, this is the world under Christianity, right?
Well, this is what you're saying. Like, Christianity is the biggest religion on the earth. From what I saw, that I thought it was Catholicism is where Christianity came from. So technically, it wouldn't be. But then there's an argument, right? So let's argue about it.
Right?
Fuck.
Well, and the issue that Protestants or that I have with Protestants is right. Okay, so I would agree the Catholic Church is no bueno. But no Protestants have any issue with the Bible, which was compiled and translated, I believe, by the Catholic Church. I don't know. The whole thing is just sort of.
Well, I was raised as a Catholic. We went to church to Christmas Eve, Mass, maybe Easter, but that's about as much religion as I had growing up as a kid.
I went to Catholic high school. Like, I wasn't raised Catholic, but I went to a Catholic high school. The school system here in Kansas, and it's better now, but when I was growing up, it wasn't even accredited. Like, it was just nightmarishly bad. And there's a lot of Catholic schools here as an alternative, and I went to a Catholic high school. So I'm familiar with all the terrible tasting wafers and the boring ass Mass and
Lent and Mass. Yeah, my aunt does all that bullshit. She doesn't eat, and she goes through all of it, and she's the only one out of the family. And they kind of look on her like, yeah, you're taking it all the way, kind of thing. Where the rest of us just kind of faded away from doing any kind of ceremonial stuff like that.
I also have like principled issues with things like original sin. If you're familiar with that, I think the concept of original sin is not only inaccurate, but I think that it's hostile, right? Every human is born bad. All right, well, that's not actually even what the Bible says. It says the opposite, right? God said it was good. So who the fuck are you to say that it's bad?
Yeah, God is of giving of life, and yet you hear the story of Noah's Ark, where apparently he killed everybody with a raging river. So, it's reading stuff into that and not trying to mock it, but it's like there's just like you said, it's hypocritical, but it's so you get so lost in an interpretation.
Right. So like if we're born sinners, okay, Cynthia's correcting me. If we're born sinners, we're born right. So we're born flawed. Well, whose fucking fault is that? So what's the deal? Did God fuck up? Because that also seems blasphemous to believe.
Right.
To believe that we all have original sin is also to say, well, God fucked up.
Well, isn't God us? Isn't God everything, everywhere, at all times? It's all God.
I don't know. That's one perspective. That's the Talcadian sort of perspective on it.
Well, the reason I'm bringing it up is like how do you go in any direction in finding a faith when you have so much like just debris to get through? I think you're kind of where I'm at, right? You're not even
Right.
you're I don't know if you're looking into maybe and entertaining the idea, kind of like flat earth, the same thing, and entertain everything, but religion seems fucking like a waste of time for me, and
I'm interested in it, and I am.
Yeah.
I would say that I would not say that I'm actively pursuing it, but I do entertain it. I am interested in these sort of things, and but ultimately, like if somebody were trying to find God and they asked me sincerely, like, what should I do about it? Well, I don't know, first of all, but I would say just like learn to meditate, because everybody who tells you what to do has something in it, right? Either they're devoted to something and they're trying to reinforce their own devotion by getting you to commit to it as well, or who knows what it is. But you can't trust people who are at no better of it. I mean, there's nobody on earth who has a better line to God, I don't think, than I do or you do or anybody else can have. So
what Jen says here, she says you need to have a very strong discernment to find God. Like in that statement, using that discernment, it makes no sense to me. Like, how do you find God? I thought God finds you, right?
Right. When you're silent. That's why I said the meditation thing. I think that when you meditate, you
I'm gonna have to try that. I've heard that quite a bit lately in meditation.
And look, it's hard to do. It seems like bullshit. You won't get it. And then at some point, like, it'll just happen. So you got to just keep practicing. When you find yourself thinking about something when you're supposed to be not thinking, like, don't get frustrated. Just restart, stop, do the thing again. I was in jail, so I had really nothing to do but teach myself.
You have plenty of time to fuck around.
Well, yeah, and I was sharing a cinder block room with 8 of my best homies, right? So that's the only way I could get any sort of privacy was to like shut them out in my head.
No, I think it's gonna be a long traveling circus trying to figure out if I can incorporate some type of spiritualness other than my own spiritualness.
But here's the other thing. I like to call it faith. I don't think that most people would agree that it is who are religious, but I am pretty comfortable with the fact that if I'm supposed to know about God, then I would know about God, because I think that he could probably make that happen. And so I'm pretty comfortable in my ignorance that it is where I'm supposed to be.
So what happens though if you find God? Now what? What does that change?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll know that time. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I mean, are you all of a sudden just a better person? Like all of a sudden, you change in any way?
You'd have to ask Tommy.
Like, am I going to do things differently now or something than I normally do?
If we look to Tommy for our example, we would probably run around attacking people online. Not to stir that pot more than it needs to be stirred, but yeah, who knows?
No, he was good. He was good tonight. It was a good.
Don't judge me. Says yes, 100%. You change.
Oh, here's hello. What's up, Cynthia?
Hi, guys. Flo, I have a message for you.
From Satan?
No, definitely not from Satan.
From Jesus.
You know it, brother.
Oh, man.
So the next, after we had your last stream the other day, I'm not at work, so I'm not in my space. But the next day was my Bible class. I have Bible class on Thursday mornings, and one of the ladies in class, she said to me, well, so many people think the Old Testament, and when Jesus came, he fulfilled each and one of them. And now what? I was like, oh my God, where is Flo State? Right? And so I caught up with her after class, and I told her about you and your question. And she said, all right, I'm not going to make lecture, but I'm going to hit you up later. So she did. And
Who is this person? This is just someone in your Bible study?
Yeah. And she said, hey, Cynthia, this is so-and-so from Bible study. I wanted to follow up on your question, or rather your friend's question. So if Jesus fulfilled all of the Old Testament law, then what now? Or why believe because it's over? But it's not. What Jesus did, this good news, he lived a perfect life and was the perfect sacrifice, dying so we could live eternally. So we are guilty and the punishment is death. But Jesus died for me, fulfilling all the requirements for sin. So now when God looks at me, he sees Jesus instead. And Jesus says, Father, this one is mine. I paid her debt. That may not have answered your question. So hopefully we can actually visit about it. I'll miss class next week. And then I said, I love it. I will let you know how it goes. And then she said, if he had not been the perfect sacrifice, dying once and for all, we would still be taking our lambs to the altars on Sundays.
Well, I appreciate the response. I don't know that it does much in the way of answering the issue about like the law, right? So after Jesus, the law becomes insignificant.
Right. The Old
That's
Testament
which
law.
right, which well, no, yeah, exactly. It becomes the
That's
Old
not
Testament law instead of our law.
Yeah, my interpretation is that he came to perfect the law. So it's not that it's null and void. It's just
Well, they don't. Nobody says it's null and void, but it doesn't really seem to matter anymore. Christians don't give a fuck about the law. You trust in Jesus, you go to heaven. I mean, that was a harsh way to say it. So, Cynthia, I saw your head pop up.
Yeah. I'm gonna not wear bells on my clothes, and I'm not gonna wear the tassels, and I'm gonna mix linen and cotton. Like I don't. Those laws don't apply to me anymore.
But these were God's laws. So did God change his mind? Was he wrong the whole time? I don't see how Jesus died. Like this is a separate issue, but I don't see how Jesus dying has anything to do with me, what I do, right? If Mitch kicks me in the nuts, I'm gonna want to kick him back. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, since somebody kicked Steve already, like go ahead, Mitch, keep kicking me in the nuts.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's where I think the New Testament came into play. Not that I'm not religious, never have been, never will be, but that I do see some validity to it. But I see it from a different perspective, and that's the New Testament was for equity. It was to establish equity, and that was because that eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So you kicking me back in the balls won't make me kicking you in the balls right. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I agree with that. But then that leaves the question: why then was it like that before? Like, why did God change his mind? Was he mistaken? Was he wrong? Like, what's with the 180?
Well, I think that what you're calling, God's law is actually man's law that is being established under the authority of the idea of God.
Right. So, okay. So I agree. And if you walk down that thought process, well, if God's law is man's law, then that means man doesn't need this co-opted religion, right? Like, oh, I'm doing it in the name of him. It's basically when you say that God's law is man's law as presented in the Bible, that voids out the entire religion, and you're back to square one, which is I need to meet God myself.
Well, not that I need to be God myself.
Meet God. I need to figure this out.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I put a link in the back chat that really helped me get a perspective on what God is. And if you want to check it out, I think it might help bring some clarity to some of these things, because I can't articulate it anywhere near what this guy can. But
Aquarius Rising.
Yeah. And he makes some really good points. I don't agree with him 100%, but about probably 99%. It just
I'm not trying to disagree either, Mitchell, but I look in the chat and they're saying that we were born to sin, and then Cynthia just stated, that he died for our sins. What's with the sin? Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand. If God is supposed to be so good and so great, what I sin right off the bat is something that's immoral, right? So,
right.
How does that?
Well, just think of Sid Nature. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever worked in a daycare or done daycare duty at church. Like, you can see those little 2-year-olds and you put one toy in there and you're going to find out real quick. One of them's going to knock the other one out. Now, did they watch their parents beat, or is it just in their nature? So don't think like it's already.
That's not necessarily true.
No.
So that's a sin if a baby knocks down another baby.
Huh?
Maybe the other baby shouldn't be such a pussy.
And the baby,
That's
the
what
babies
I'm
are
saying,
sinning
but
already.
it's already in your. That's already in these kids' nature to fight. To
Well,
yell.
we're animals. I mean, we're born as animals. You should be
Right, like
to be
it's just in our
competitive, but
nature.
not to knock them out, kill them or shit like that, to dominate them.
Well, we have to
know about
torture these
that.
2-year-olds for all of eternity, I think, is where God would take it then.
Yeah, so the kids just have sinful natures. I mean, and we're just born with it. Like, we've all met people that you could just be like, man, that's just a bad, like, he's just bad. He's just evil. You can just feel it on him. And I'm not.
So do you have these evil
Margo.
thoughts with your
Fucking
friends?
sinners. Look at these sinners.
Those little assholes.
Cynthia, do you have those sort of evil thoughts when you're hanging out with your friends?
No, not now, but because I came from the strip clubs. I worked in strip clubs for a long time, and you can you can just see that evil nature there, and but you can see it in their actions and their behavior. And
You're talking about the strip club. I've never been to a strip club, so no, I can't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a different. Like you just.
If you come to Kansas City, we're going to a strip club, Mitch.
Dude, I'm from Kansas City.
Are you really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, I grew up like right down the street from you. I played baseball at 3 and 2. Like growing up.
Shit.
You're not wearing a Chiefs hat, so.
Yeah, I got one.
So did you? I'm in DeSoto right now. Did you grow up in Olathe?
Overland Park.
Okay. No
Lenexa.
shit. That's tight.
Yeah.
Huh. I had no idea.
Look at that.
You can
Small
definitely
world.
sense evil on people.
I grew up actually in Wyandotte, the trailer park in Edwardsville. That's where I started growing up, and then my mom.
Edwardsville has the worst cops too.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. That place was terrible, but my mom got us out of there.
I worked on Caw Drive right there. There's a lot of concrete plants, and I worked at a few of those places over the years. But we lived at 10th and Central in KCK when I moved back here, and that I enjoyed the hood, but like that just wasn't a great place for a family.
Right, exactly.
Well, Mitch, out in Bonner Springs up there, is it Bonner? Up by Feldman's, sort of. Anyways, there's a strip club up there. Got to go there. I haven't been there in a minute.
All right.
They still do nude. You know, a lot of the places around here they made full nude illegal in Missouri.
Yeah, I think they did here too. I heard about it.
Well, it's definitely not here.
Yeah, that sucks. I remember when I went to my first titty bar outside of Florida, they weren't full nudity. I'm like, what the fuck am I in here for? Paying? I can't see shit. I'm out.
I got a fake ID when I was 15. Do you know how happy 15-year-old Taylor was sitting in bazookas, getting lap dances, and drinking out of the? I carry on I wore a big coat, so I could carry like pints of whiskey and vodka in my pocket.
Oh, you're a hardcore kid, huh? There you go.
I was about this size when I was 15, so I got a fake ID and it worked places.
Actually, you know what, Mitch? Save your money, dude. You don't need to go to a titty bar.
Mitch, you're gonna love it.
They normally fucking suck.
Let me just tell you though,
once, right?
You got to go once, and you can have a good time.
At least once.
But they don't actually like you.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have to still be telling people, but there's always one dude, like in every time I've ever gone to a strip club with a group, there's the one fucking guy who's like, no, man, I think she really likes me. I'm going back to my ATM so we can talk more.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cynthia, I want to go back to that question about Jesus dying for our sins. So if he died for our sins, how were we born with sins? If he died for them already.
Ate from the fruit, the tree of life. and we just became sinners. So then you were talking about Noah. I heard you mention about Noah, and it's not like that was a one night thing. Like, oh, that's it, everybody's out. Like, he prepared Noah to build the ark. Like, Noah had to build the ark, and it says that the world was so wicked that he was just disappointed that he just wiped them out.
Why hasn't he done it again? Like, it needs it now. You don't think it needs it now?
I don't think it's as bad as everybody. I think it's going to get a lot worse, and people don't realize it yet. And
Why is
then
he
they
letting
think
us
this
suffer
is
then?
bad.
Why is he letting us suffer? Because it's pretty bad right now. There's a lot of hurting people in this world.
A lot of hurt people. It's going to get a lot worse.
Only because they haven't found Jesus.
No, because even people, I know people that know Jesus that have problems, and I want to kind of make that understood as well. Like, don't ever think because you're a Christian you're not attacked and you don't have problems, and God somehow your bank account's never on zero, your car's never breaking down. That's just simply not true. One of the things that really made me sad about that guy, the atheist that y'all were so mean to the other day, is that
that dude was an asshole.
Okay, Flow State. I'm just saying.
I agreed with him too until he fucking rage quit because he can't
he
use his
did.
brain.
But is that I asked him, I was like, well, where do the atheists meet up? Do y'all meet up at bars? Like, how do y'all have y'all's fellowship? He's like, we don't. Like, we don't have those things. And I was thinking, man, that's kind of sad. You don't even have who helps carry your burdens. And it really
do that though.
Huh?
They do that. Not like every Sunday, but for a while I was playing around in the atheist YouTube community, and they have meetups, they have codes of conduct, they have shared beliefs.
Well, he said they didn't. But it just made me think, who helps carry your burdens? And when you're
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Carry your burdens?
Yeah, what are we burdened with?
Oh, glad you asked that.
What does that mean? What do you mean by who helps carry your burdens?
I'm about to tell you. So, as we all know, I was just in a wreck and I didn't have a car for like 2 weeks, right? And I just kind of went into this funk. Like, even though everything was working out, I was still sad because my whole balance had been thrown off center. So I just like, I don't care about my kitchen anymore. I don't care. And then I asked people to pray for me, and I was like, I'm just really having a hard time. And then I think 3 different times people from church called me and said, hey, I made this casserole. Do you want me to bring you some? Or, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Do you want me to pick you up and take you? Like, I know you're without a car. And it's just, I just had to put out that one, hey, I've been in a wreck. Please keep me in your prayers. I'm going through hard times. And I didn't have to tell them what I needed. As being a human, being somebody in my community, they already knew what I needed. So that's what I mean.
Sounds like a good friend. Like what a good friend.
But it wasn't just one person. It was a community of people. And that's what I mean, help carry my burden. Same thing. When they tell me they're in a jam, do you need me to drive you to your doctor's appointment? And it's just, we just help each other. And it's not because we're great friends. It's just because it's in our nature to help our community.
So it's a community of helpers.
It's my church of believers. It's my community,
but
my fellowship.
They're all helpers. They'll help you no matter what. You need help, they got your back, right?
Yeah.
Would they help you cover up a crime?
I do have some that would. Absolutely. I can't say they're my church friends, though. Now, but the church friends that once I committed the crime, I can count on them to always send me encouraging letters and money and support. But they wouldn't help me cover up the crime.
They'd help carry the burden.
They would definitely help carry the burden by making sure my kids were taken care of, by keeping up with me. And
so I think that what that does in my mind, like, come on, you're a grown ass woman or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't have like a companion or, some offspring, and, you don't have a community, neighbors and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That type of fellowship should be all around you. You don't like.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it, and I'm but I don't even need it. I carry my own. But I look. One of my philosophies that has me living in my situation is I took the stance that I refuse to replace my burdens on society. So that's something that like made me, in my mind, find God. Like that's where I find my peace and happiness. And it's like, because I know that, you know, if I have everything I need, you know, and generally everything I want. So I mean, it's like, you know, other people look down on my lifestyle and shit, but I'm extremely comfortable and free and happy. And
Well,
you know,
praise God, blessings and blessings. Fortunately,
I'm at peace, but you know, I'm not replacing my burdens. Like no
Right.
offense, but like fuck, you can't walk to the store. You're in a fucking city, and you know what I'm saying. It's not like
Obviously,
it's not
I
like you're starving. You know, I went fucking 45 days on 3 meals. You
So
know,
Mitchell, what do you think when Cynthia said that her
Sophia is
church was
proud
there
of you,
for her?
Mitchell. Mitchell,
Right?
Sophia said twice in a row that she's proud of you. She wants you to know she's proud of
Yeah.
you.
Good job. What do you think with Cynthia?
I don't
If
like-
she didn't have the church, if she was by herself, is this church going to reach out to her and help her?
yeah, I think it's a pointless. Yeah, it's.
Well, where I'm taking it is that if you believe in what they believe in and believe in and join a church, you're like literally not a cult, but you're in that group of people that, you know,
It is a cult.
community of people. I mean, I guess you could say consider a cult.
They're like light. It's like the diet cult.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, right. It's like
It depends on, you know, if you get into Seventh Day Adventists or Mormons, or you know, it gets cultier.
Because I mean, Cynthia's using that as that will help you got through your depression right after your accident. That your church
yeah, I mean, it
community
just
came
let
and
me know
saved
I
you.
wasn't alone. And not like obviously I have friends and family, but you know, so like Mitchell was saying, sometimes you want to feel like I don't need you, I don't want to bother you, I don't want to bother you. And you know, my family, we don't live close together. Like all my sisters live out of state. My parents live 4 hours away. My kids live. One of them lives an hour and a half, and the other one lives almost two away.
Yeah, I agree that there is a lot of community in churches that are good,
and
they
so-
do a lot of good stuff for like soup kitchens and stuff. Like churches aren't all bad, but like
I disagree. I can put up a strong argument for that. I don't mean to interrupt you, but man, that's like all that fucking charity bullshit, helping others and fucking helping the homeless. It's not helping shit, man. And it's just like an opportunity to get donations and, you know,
Really?
fucking.
Is that your firsthand knowledge? I mean, have you not the church has not
I've
helped you,
been
Mitchell?
involved with. I could tell you my story, and it's not at all for pity. Like but I was in a bad motorcycle wreck, and I didn't walk for 2 years. I had a brain injury, and so I got approved for this brain injury waiver, and I was trying to go through get these government services, and I just kept getting pushed around through agency to agency, even like city to city. You know, it was just ridiculous, and it was when I took a step back to realize what was actually going on is like they were all taking funding for like doing intake process on me and making it look like they were providing services and shit like that, but they literally made it impossible for me to get help. You know, that's why I have pity for like legitimate homeless people, because these services are not people friendly. And
yeah.
How did the church play into that though?
Because they same shit. They do the same shit.
Yeah, rehab. A lot of rehabs are like that too. The first time I went to rehab, they kicked me out after a week for using. Right, the reason they gave is that I was using. However, I was not using, and they tossed my room, my car, drug tested me, breathalyzed me. Like I clearly was not using, but they kicked me out and then tried to bill the insurance for the full amount, anyways. So yeah.
Welcome back, Tom.
But I do remember after I got out of rehab the second time, some people I knew from there in KCK, there was the Catholic Charities in case.
Mitch, Mitchell.
I've dealt with Catholic charities out there.
I'm Mitchell. Let's go
volume
back.
sucks
I'm
there, Tommy.
still I'm still
listening.
confused by your story and how you're relating it to the church. Because you say the
Because
church.
just like he brought up, I've dealt with Catholic charities. That's one group in particular.
Okay.
You know, just for example, that's a perfect model of what I'm talking about. Now that's modeled everywhere, all throughout pretty much every fucking major church, big church out here, churches everywhere out here, and where I'm from, you know, and they're all fucking doing, you know, food banks and shit like that. And it's all an excuse to take in donations and shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, and as you're saying this, I'm remembering, like, because I remember people from rehab would get excited because, like, every Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember what day of the week, but like once a week, they'd put on like a big meal for the homeless people at whatever shelter. But like when you think about how much they're probably soliciting for donations for this thing, like one brunch a week is probably, yeah, I don't know. I like to give them credit for the good things they do, and
yeah,
it's probably
none
not
of
as
them
much.
would exist if they didn't do some good. So I tend to agree with you. You know, they all do some good, but that doesn't excuse the bad they do. And I think the inherent nature of them is bad. You know, it's not doing good. You know, they do some good, but in the end, when you look at the bigger picture, it's not helping. You know, none of these programs and services are really helping the problems, you know. So
Well, you're looking at the physical church. I'm kind of looking at the belief in Jesus and the scriptures that Cynthia reads from, how they use that to help her get through that hard time, right?
well,
Like
how that ties into my thought process is, you know, like obviously there's some validity to Jesus, the whole Jesus thing, but it's been corrupted and you know, so heavily distorted that you know we can't ever really figure it out. It's basically a brilliantly written mystery. You know, I don't know what else to call it, but because what you know, the church is in position as trustee to basically be the place, you know, the place taker of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They're like the placeholder for when Jesus returns, you know, and that's basically their whole purpose. And so, you know, if we realize who and what Jesus is, you know, then they would have no purpose. And that's like, that destroys an entire industry. You know what I mean? A big industry.
Oh, huge. I mean, that's where the whole start of basically the banking system, you know, is just the acquirement of land and goods and power. A religion is huge in that. You know, that's what starts wars, and what the fuck, it's still here too.
And as much as I love
That's in the Bible,
capitalism,
that war.
as much as I love capitalism, I will admit that one of the flaws in it is that you get paid to help people with their problems. So a winning strategy is to have problems.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you solve the problems, then yeah, it's bad for business.
Right. Like,
So
I'll be
Mitchell-
God. I
So
was just gonna
how do you
say, I'll be
feel about-
goddamned if a cop is gonna actually try to stop crime in his town. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Right.
So, Mitchell, so how do you actually feel about people who attend church like that? Like, how do y'all feel about
I think
someone
I look at it like the house of the
reads
dead.
the
I mean,
Bible and
my
attends
mom was
church
raised Catholic. She never pushed any religion on us. But you know, my great grandpa wrote a book like Thoughts of a Catholic Doctor. You know, so like it's in my family, but I think it's, you know, I just never got involved with it, and so I never got involved with religion at all. And so I have attended church. You know, I've even attended like, you know, Christmas mass, like Steve mentioned. You know, the midnight mass thing. You know, but I was never baptized, and I think I look at all of that like it's a contract on your soul. You know, and that's what they're really after. You know, and that's keeping us limited, you know, from our potential. And so that really, I look at it as a, you know, as a whole as a bad thing, because
Well, I'm
I don't
Southern
know.
Baptist. I'm definitely not Catholic. There's a big, huge difference, and I agree with Flow State when it comes to the Catholic religion. So
There's some minor differences. I think that when somebody says like that they go to church, I think that like all else equal, I'm going to say that I tend to think that they're good people who intend to do good, and they're mistaken.
Yeah, I agree.
The further you get into like the up the hierarchy, the more your religious life becomes like your career, the more I tend to view you with an air of suspicion. But I on the whole, like if I hear somebody goes to church, I'll tend to think that they're at least trying to do what's right, and so that works in their favor.
well, like I said, I worked in the strip clubs, and that was just I don't know how to say a dark place, an evil place.
It is, yeah.
To convey it in a way y'all would the non strip club going person, and I worked there for years. You know what I mean? And so it was just dark, and then that's where I found God, like because somebody had given me the 48 laws. Because
You found God at the strip club?
yeah,
After 48 Laws of Power, is that what you were about to say?
yeah. So these pimps,
What
I
the
had like
fuck?
for whatever reason. So I started off as a waitress, but I ended up becoming assistant to the regional manager, and then I just started.
Okay, hold
opening
on. You
up
started off
business.
as a stripper. Let's get
No,
this
a
straight.
waitress. No. And
That's
so
what every stripper says.
okay, so the pimps would love to come talk to me. So they start, and once they found out I read, they would bring me books. And so one of them brought me the 48 Laws of Power. And I was like, okay, and I read it, but I don't know if you've ever read that book, but that book
Yeah, I
is
know.
dark. Like
No, it's great. It's agnostic. It's neutral.
but you feel something, like you just feel something. You feel something coming in you. And I felt, and I was like, this is too heavy for me. So I said, how can I counter react this? Like I have to balance it out. I'm always about balancing something out. And so I said, I'll start reading the Bible. And then I was like, well, I kind of need to go to church because I'm not understanding everything in the Bible. And I found a church. And then I started attending this other Bible study that really helped. And so it just became, I balanced them both. And then it just became, well, this Bible, it's really just feeding me. I feel something now, but it's not as heavy as that other first 48 Laws of Power were.
So you're telling me that you worked in a strip club for
Uh-huh.
years and hanging out with pimps, and the 48 Laws of Power is what you found too dark that you needed to balance?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
No, because you like if you have that power to manipulate people that way, like it kind of gets down to
Oh,
dark
so you were the manipulator. You were showing your tits on the little
No, I'm
tray,
like with the book.
trying to get your tips
No.
in. That's
The
where the
power of the
darkness comes
48,
from.
the law, whatever, the 48 Laws of Power, they teach you kind of how to manipulate people, how to play
It
games.
explains it, right?
Yeah,
It
and it
pulls the
just
curtain
really-
back on what people are really doing a lot of the times, and it's kind of a naked expose to an extent.
Right. And it was just really heavy. Like, do I really want to be the person walking around manipulating everybody, using people? Like, do I want to have that on my weight on me? You know what I mean? So no, I didn't. So I balanced it out with the Bible. And then I just really, but I never stopped working at the strip clubs while I was at church. And then my little church friends found out I worked at the strip clubs. And then they'd put together care packages for the
Southern Baptists are gonna get all up in your business with love
Yeah,
over
no,
that
but
shit.
they started a little missionary work. like it was never judged. I was never judged for working at a strip club. And I never, hey guys, I got a new friend and she's a hooker. Let's pray that she finds her way. She got married 2 years later. You know, like I'm never have to be ashamed of the people I bring before them.
But you were ashamed while you worked there, though, didn't you?
Ashamed of working at the strip club?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Oh.
Hell no. I used to get out the strip clubs and go to church because the strip clubs don't close till 5 down here. The all nude ones don't.
So you didn't sin in these strip clubs?
Yeah, I stole money. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, you did sin then. When did you find Jesus?
I just told you I was reading, like I balanced it out. And it was just
So did you quit working?
now
You
I
don't
got
work in the strip club anymore?
Well, no, I mean, you can't be working in the strip club in your 40s. You've got to retire.
I mean,
sometime.
there's dudes that work in strip clubs. You know, there's lots of roles that don't require you to be a stripper.
Yeah, I wasn't a stripper. I'm gonna tell you
You
again.
can keep saying that.
I wasn't, but yeah. Then I got a regular job, and I work at home now, and don't make nearly as much money as I once made. But I have everything I need.
How old were you when you worked there?
In my 30s. I worked there all in my my last couple of years of 20s and all in my 30s.
So you were a mom at the time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So were lots of the strippers.
And listen, I would tell my son that, mom
such a
doesn't
cliche.
strip.
Yeah,
And
I
he'd be
know.
like, I know you don't strip. I used to take him with me to work sometimes and just make him sit up in the office.
It's
That sounds
amazing
like-
how many
that's like a
chicks I've
movie.
met who worked at strip clubs, but just as waitresses, right? Like,
It's free daycare, I guess, right? That's not too shabby. You probably pocketing big bucks.
You know how much money goes through your hands at strip clubs on weekends?
I've been to the
And
strip
I
club.
worked
I
at
am a
an
man.
urban one. I worked at an all-black strip club, and I'm working during Super Bowl, during All-Star Weekend. What?
Yeah, I got a couple buddies that DJ at all the strip clubs around here. They make big time bucks
Huge.
on a fucking Monday.
We had $2 Tuesdays.
See, I
bet
think
that was good.
the new world is definitely going to need the strip clubs. I don't think those are going to go away.
Look, I like strip clubs, obviously, but like I'm under no delusions. Strippers are
Adult entertainers. That
a
was
lot of them are a lot
you
of
can
them.
come
There's
over
a
if you
higher
want.
concentration of skeevy people in strip clubs than in the general population. How about that? I'll leave it like that.
Well, shit, guys. I think I'll go ahead and shut this down. It's about 2.5 hours. I appreciate everybody showing up. So pretty good conversation.
Yeah, me and Mitch got to get to the strip club before it closes.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go at least.
Mitch, you
one.
got to experience it
Once-
one time.
once,
There used to be these
you know.
two guys that would come in and they would play chess. And I'd be like, why are y'all doing that? He'd be like, why isn't like the strip club's the best place to play chess? So you don't have to just indulge with the strippers. You just want to be in the environment.
But that's how you get the. That's how they're playing. That's the long game. That's how you get in good with the strippers. Is you treat it like a bar, not like a perv event.
Yeah, we had death. We had a death stripper.
Deaf, like she
Yeah.
couldn't hear. Yeah.
But she was.
I
a
got
full-
bounced out of a strip club because I made fun of the doorman's braces.
Oh, I know who you did. It's a little gang in there. But Steve, I enjoyed coming up here on your panel. It was great.
Thank you.
Flow State. I'm gonna let my friend know we got to keep working on Flow State. Mitchell, I appreciate you reading the other day. I forgot to tell you that when we were on Flow's page.
I was so bad at reading out loud.
No, but I
can-
loved how you just was able to whip your Bible out. And I like that you say, I'm not Christian.
And I read the wrong chapter.
But no, you were in the right place. But I do appreciate that, and I'll see you guys.
Man, I'm about to whip my Bible out to get some props too.
Are you gonna go live tonight?
I was considering it, but I haven't committed. I don't know. I may.
Hey, did
It's
you
kind of
get any
late.
stubs from last night? Did anybody sign your link?
Yeah, a couple. I think. I don't know. I can't remember. I went to a few different panels, and I ended up. I think I got most of them from Speakeasy. I got a couple. I think.
Okay. Well, no,
I wasn't on very long though.
Yeah, he's on a time schedule. You came at the very end. You came at the end, but the panel always opens up after.
Yeah,
I wanted to get
after
in on
party at Flow State. After party at Flow State.
Oh,
Steve's kicking us out.
But I want to give out one number that I can see here is I'm at 150 subscribers, and I just hit over 155 views for this stream alone. So I think that's over 110%, 105%.
Do you know
view
what
rate.
in your analytics what your viewers are they subscribed or not?
Uh,
Because
subs only to make them be subscribers.
yeah, if you put your chat to subs only.
I think I did that. I'm not sure.
No,
Okay.
you didn't.
Or you have to subscribe to chat.
Well, Cynthia's not subscribed, so there's one more subscriber.
No, I am subscribed. No, you
subscribe
didn't.
to,
'Cause there'd be a
subscribe to
sign.
the chat.
Yeah, there'd be a sign.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just curious though. Is so I'm that's over 100%. when I look at other channels, I see, let's say they have 1,000 subscribers and they'll post a live and they'll get a couple hundred views and that's it, not 1,000. So I'm getting more views than subscribers. I'm curious of how that's.
I'm gonna guess that you recently just like caught the algorithm, right? Like those wheels, because I went from getting like 150 views per live stream to like 700 views. I don't know, overnight it seemed like.
But you got to remember, views are not viewers. They're
right. It's many times someone clicked it, right?
Yeah.
No, I was just curious about that, and it's not like I'm trying to get the numbers thing, but I was just curious of what that meant. Because
now, don't you have to? Is it? You have to open a whole new browser session for it to be a whole new view, don't you?
I don't know. I have like 4 screens. I have like a lot of screens open. But what section do you mean?
Like I think that if I like, because I've got your video open on a tab right now. I think that if I open it in another tab, it will not register a new view. I would have to completely close my browser.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
I'm not for sure though, which is why I was asking.
Well, my interpretation is that I've got enough people who have subscribed that are actually watching my shit. So that's pretty important. I could care less, about how many are watching at one time. But I appreciate you guys help me entertain people.
I shared your post.
I know, Mitchell, you got a little you thought I was letting some fuckery going on earlier, but I'm gonna let anybody up here and hopefully they can, as grown men, work shit out and get along for at least 5-10 minutes. You know what I mean?
You know when that's not gonna happen.
I know. But if you noticed, I've finally just kicked in and said that's it. If I got to remove somebody, I'll fucking remove them. It shouldn't have to come to that. You know what I mean? I feel like the dad, like you should have known better. You should have known better. But no, really, thanks everyone for coming and get the fuck out of here. Peace. Well, everybody, that's it for Fired Up Fridays. Hope you guys got entertained, learned some stuff about the central banking. It's quite a undertaking to do research and look at your own shit. But I appreciate everybody showing up and showing out. And thanks. Have a good one.
Drop that bitch on her head like bang. Drop that bitch on her head like bang.